Chapter 17. I open the door to my room and see 3 maids standing there. Are you sure you're in the right room? I ask, closing the door behind me. No ma'am, we're here to help you get ready for the ball, says the blonde one. Thanks, but I can get ready on my own, I reply politely. I'm sorry, but it's a direct order from Lord Asmodeus, she says with a little smile. I reluctantly nod. Great, I'm Amy, this is Emily, and she's Emma. They all wave. Emily is taller than me with blonde hair, while Emma has brown hair and is about the same height as me. Alright, we should start by helping you with a bath. They move towards the bathroom. Look, you can help me dress, and I won't give you any trouble, but I'm not letting you bathe me, I say. I'm not a baby who needs someone to bathe me. No, just tell me what I need to do during the bath, and I'll handle it myself, I say, crossing my arms. If we do it together, it will be faster. The ball is in 2 hours, Emily says. No, they all stare at me with pleading eyes. Let me guess, a direct order? I ask, and they all nod. A smile spreads across their faces when I finally agree and go with them into the bathroom. Xanthus is going to get an earful, I whisper to myself as I let the 3 maids bathe me. After my bath, I sit on a stool, ready for them to do my hair and makeup. Emily will do your hair and makeup, Amy says, and goes into my closet. After an hour of styling and adjusting, my hair and makeup are done. I still don't know what I look like because I'm not allowed to look into the mirror. Okay, we'll help you into your dress now, they say. I open my mouth to protest, but then I see the dress, a pure white dress with a long off-shoulder cape. The fabric looks so soft. Won't this get dirty? I ask. I'm actually afraid to touch it because it looks so delicate and beautiful, with flowers arranged along the end of the cape. Oh, don't worry about that. The dressmaker used magic. Nothing can dirty it, tear it, or take away the flowers. My mouth falls open in surprise. It's really beautiful, I say as they put it on me. The dress has a deep slit between my breasts, and the edges of the slit are made of silver. The dress fits my body perfectly. Is that? I ask, shocked, and they both nod in excitement. Oh my God. A real crown. I squeal. Yeah, but we can't put it on. Lord Asmodeus has to do that, they say. I grin at the silver crown studded with diamonds, and they place a necklace with a ruby stone around my neck. They guide me to the mirror, and I almost start crying when I see myself. Wow, I breathe. I look so different. The woman in the mirror has brown hair like mine, styled up with 2 strands framing my glittering face. My lips are deep purple, my chocolate eyes shine, and the silver earrings complete the look, making it all seem unreal. I hug Amy. Thank you, I whisper, and she hugs me back after recovering from her shock. The Lord should be coming soon. I hope you enjoy the party. They all wave and leave the room, gently closing the door behind them. After a minute, there's a knock. Come in, I say, eagerly waiting for him to enter. He opens the door and stops when he sees me. Wow, he breathes, and I smile. Wow, you look unique, different, he says, placing his hand on my bare shoulders. He stares at the crown, picks it up, and carefully places it on my head, making sure not to mess up my hair. Thanks, I whisper as he steps back. Shall we? He offers his hand. We shall, I laugh. 2 guards bow to us and follow behind. Why do we need guards? I ask. They're escorts, and it's part of being royal, he replies. We arrive at the ballroom, and I'm amazed. Lights hang everywhere, and a huge chandelier is suspended in the center. I see couples dancing. I spot Logan coming towards me, so I lean on Zanthis while he talks to a guard. Logan stops in frustration, then his face changes into a sly smile. You seem tense, Xanthus points out, and I give a tight smile. I need a drink, I say, leaving his side and heading to the bar before he can object. What can I get you? The bartender asks politely. A shot of tequila, please, I say. I gulp it down in one go, trying not to make a face. You shouldn't drink so much. You don't want to spill your secrets to your mate about our relationship. Logan's cocky tone grates on me. We don't have a relationship, Logan, I say flatly, signaling the bartender for another shot. We had one, and it ended 2 years ago. I cut him off, downing the next shot and already starting to feel relaxed. Why can't you understand that? I walk away from him, knowing what he was about to say would bring up memories I didn't want to think about. Rory, you look beautiful, Recall says, giving me a small hug. Thank you, I wave at the lady he's with. I'll see you later. He leaves with his date. Everyone I know greets me except Lilith, who keeps glaring at me, clearly annoyed by my presence, and smirking. I swear, she's such a weird demon. It's 11:25, Xanthus says, standing beside me with a drink in his hand. You ordered the maids to bathe me, I remind him. Yes, you're a queen, and you deserve the best care, he says, staring at me in surprise when I don't reply. What? It's the first time I've called you a queen, and you didn't argue or make a fuss. I smirk and walk closer to his ear. Maybe I'm accepting my fate. My voice is soft and tempting as I sway my hips while walking away. I know I shouldn't have taken 4 shots. 11:28 p.m. This time, Logan speaks up. I don't need you to tell me the time. There's a huge clock on the wall, I snap, glancing at the clock on the wall. You're not going to have the mate dance with him, Logan says. I turn to face him, a smirk on my face. That's what you've been saying, Logan. You and I both know you can't do anything because you're scared of Lord Asmodeus. His face twists into a furious expression. I know it's not the smartest move to challenge Logan, but I do it anyway. When the clock strikes 11:30 p.m., Zanthis is by my side, and soft music begins to play. Newly mated couples fill the dance floor, leaving a space in the middle. The middle space is for us, their king and queen. I smile at him slightly. I can feel Logan's eyes burning into my back, but I ignore it. Nothing is going to spoil this dance. Xanthus pulls me onto the dance floor. He places his hand on my back, and I put mine on his shoulders. This is too much eye contact, I whisper, forgetting he has demon ears. He chuckles. I gasp when I feel something unusual. Can you feel that? I ask, and he nods. What is it? I glance at the circle of people around us, watching the other couples dance. It strengthens our bond, he says quietly. I stay silent. After the dance, the couples leave, but Xanthus and I remain in the ballroom. Have a drink, he says. I sigh. Do you really think I'll take a drink from you, Logan? I eye him carefully. You need to relax a little. It's not like I can poison you when my cousin isn't far away, he points out. He does have a point, so I take the drink from his hand and drink it down. He stays with me, and I begin to feel annoyed. What else are you waiting for? I snap at him. Really? You can't even have a conversation with me without getting angry? I apologized, Rory, he says. I start walking away, and he follows me. I stumble a bit, feeling lightheaded. Don't follow me. I'm going to see Zanthis. Don't worry, I'm not going to say anything, I assure him. I'm not sure why I want to see Zanthis. I feel like kissing him. God, what is wrong with me? Hey! I call out when I see Xanthus moving away from the guard he's talking to. Are you okay, Aurora? He asks, looking at me with concern. He's so cute. I'm fine, baby, I say, shocked by what I just said. He looks just as surprised as I feel. Are you sure you're okay? He asks. I press my finger to his lips. Shoo, don't talk. Why are we still here? After all, we're mates. I pull his hand toward the exit. Where are we going? He pulls me back, but when I realize we're far from the ball, I push him against the wall and kiss him. I don't care if he isn't kissing me back. I need to kiss him. He pushes me away and opens a door to a study room. Whose study is this? I ask, noticing a couch, and I grin. One of mine, he replies. I smile and push him onto the couch, then straddle him. I slam my lips onto his, but he doesn't kiss me back. Instead, he pushes me off. You don't want me? I pout. He switches off the light and shines a flashlight on my face. You're drunk and aroused, he says, frowning. Who gave you a drink? I ignore him and start walking out. If you're not going to give me what I want, then I guess I'll find someone else. I'm pretty sure L. He slams me against the wall. I'm not going to take advantage of you when you're drunk or under a spell. And don't ever threaten me with that again, because it won't end well for anyone, he says. I look at him with lust. You know I love this position, I grin as he groans. He lets me go, and I stagger a bit, feeling dizzy. Are you okay? He asks, holding me. Yeah, the dress is just uncomfortable, I say. I take off the cape and my shoes. Help me zip my dress, I show him my back. No, he says coldly, and I flinch a little. What do you mean, no? I'll rip this dress off if you don't zip it down. I say angrily. Go ahead, he replies. I angrily zip the dress down and feel a sting on my back. Shit. You hurt yourself, he says, noticing. I take the dress off, now facing him in my white lace bra and panties. You're bleeding, he says, staring only at my face. So? I reply. He turns me around and looks at my back. I hear a low growl before everything goes black. Wanting to see what would happen next, why not subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories? Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 18. I wake up in a dark room, wearing only my underwear and barely remembering anything from the party. In a dark room. In my underwear. With little to no memory of the party. Then, I scream. What? Xanthus asks, looking around the room, searching for any danger. I stop screaming when I realize I haven't been kidnapped and that no one is planning to hurt me. But that still doesn't explain why I'm almost naked. Did we? I ask carefully. His lips curl into a smirk. What? Did we do what? He stands in front of me, smirking. Did we, you know? I ask. No, I don't know, Aurora, he mocks. Did we have sex? There, I said it, now answer me. I yell, frustrated with his games. No, we didn't have sex, Aurora, even though I wanted to. I didn't want to take advantage of you. Even after I refused to take your dress off, you yanked your zipper down so hard it broke your skin. He explains, and my face turns red with embarrassment. I did all that? Why don't I remember? Your drink was spiked. Who was the last person to give you a drink? He asks. I search my mind, but I find nothing. I can't remember anything except dancing. The rest is just a blank. It's like there are holes in my memory. I don't remember, I answer. I might not know exactly who did it, but I have a hunch. I don't say anything to Zanthis right now, but if I find out he was the one who spiked my drink, I'm telling him everything. It must be the dream demon guy, or maybe he has someone else doing his dirty work, Xanthus says thoughtfully. My drink was spiked with what? A rape drug? I joke, but he doesn't even blink. No, it was spiked with cyancardin, he replies. Okay. What is cyancardin? I'm surprised I said it right. It's a plant that makes you lose control. It makes you crave a male's touch to the point where you feel you must have it. It's usually made by witches, which means our dream demon has a witch helping him, he explains. So I didn't have sex with anyone? I ask, and he nods. I sigh in relief. Why would he do that? I ask Xanthus. I don't know, and to find out, we'll have to figure out who this mysterious dream demon is. I have an idea of who it might be, but I doubt he would spike my drink with that plant. That still doesn't explain why I don't remember what happened last night, I say. He wiped your memories to protect his identity, Zanthis answers, his tone filled with anger. I'm going to change and have breakfast, I say as I stand up. It's lunchtime already, he points out. I must have slept a lot. I make my way to Logan's room. I want to be sure he didn't spike my drink. Before I can knock, the door opens, almost like he was expecting me. What? He snaps rudely. Did you spike my drink? I ask, getting straight to the point. He glares at me. Look, if you don't have anything better to do, stop coming to me. Did you or did you not spike my drink, Logan? I say, almost yelling. I have better things to do. My whole life doesn't revolve around you, he says coldly. I shake my head with a pitying smile. You spiked my drink so I could sleep with you, Logan. You disgust me. He looks hurt, but I don't let that stop me as I walk away from him. And Aurora. Let me explain. He calls after me, but I'm already on my way to Xanthus' study. I'm going to tell him everything. I knock and enter. Hi, I wave nervously. He lifts his head from the files he was looking at. Hi, he says, looking at me. Look, I need to tell you something, I say, my heart racing. How will he react when I tell him Logan is my ex-boyfriend, who was also the dream demon who spiked my drink? Aurora? I've been calling you, but you weren't responding. You were spacing out. Is something wrong? He asks, noticing my distraction. Huh? Sorry, I was just thinking about something. Maybe I should come back later? I ask, already backing out of his office before he can reply. Where have you been? I ask Karina. You weren't around for the dance. Sorry, the dance was only for mates, and Hoaric and I aren't true mates, she says with a small smile. Oh, I'm sure there were other mates there yesterday who weren't true mates, I comment. Hoaric said it would be a waste of time anyway. How are you? How was the dance? What dress did you wear? She asks, changing the subject. I'm good. I have little memory of the dance. And, oh, I wore a white dress, I answer. She chuckles, and I'm glad I have a friend to distract me. I know, right? Philomel is such a beautiful horse. I mean, look at that hair, Karina says dreamily. We've been talking for almost an hour, most of it about Philomel, the horse. From her birth to her first injury to her first flight. Karina really loves that horse, and all I say is, yes, no, or even, wow, I didn't know that. She's the only one who knows me well, Karina sighs sadly. I turn her to face me and place my hands on her shoulders. You know you can tell me anything, right? You don't always have to tell a horse everything. If you want to talk to me, I'll listen. Even when I'm on my period, I'll still listen to you. I promise, Karina, I tell her. She hugs me. I feel something wet drop onto my shoulder. Thank you. I promise when I'm ready to talk, I'll come to you, she says, smiling. Lady Karina and Lady Aurora, a guard approaches us and bows. Lord Asmodeus requests your presence, he says to me. Oh, I frown. Why? He didn't say. Did he find out the truth? Is that why he sent for me? I don't want to think about it. I follow the guard after waving to Karina, who mouths, good luck, to me. We stop in front of a large golden door. You can leave now, Xanthus dismisses the guard before opening the door for me. I step inside and stare at the room full of all kinds of stones, diamonds, rubies, and more. The room is practically glowing. Wow, I say. He shows me a glass box where a thin amulet with a green stone, emerald, is laid. It's been enchanted. It'll keep you safe from the dream demon. He won't be able to control your dreams or anything, since he's still a mystery to us. Never take it off, Xanthus says. But I feel like he's not telling me the full reason for the amulet. The amulet rests flat against my chest, but the stone still shines, especially in the evening sun. I sigh, feeling guilty. Xanthus, the dream demon is. Rogue demons escaped again. I guess fate doesn't want me to tell him about Logan. He quickly places a kiss on my head and rushes off, leaving me alone in a room full of stones. Well, I guess it's time to learn more about stones. Wanting to see what would happen next, why not subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories? Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 19. After spending hours looking at different gemstones, I hear the door open, and Zanthis walks in with an apologetic look on his face. I was in a hurry. Sorry, I kind of locked you in here, he says. I smile and shrug. This room is nice, I tell him. He nods. Yeah, it's actually old. It's where all the past queen's gemstones are kept, along with gifts that were given to my family. No wonder the room has so many stones, and it's so big, almost like a whole house. How did the demons escape? I ask as we walk to dinner. I have no idea, but the demons that attacked weren't as many as the last time. We also changed the gatekeeper since the old one got easily distracted, he says, rolling his eyes at the last part. I can't help but chuckle. I'll have to invite other demon lords so we can talk about the demons that escaped and who helped them, he says. I can tell he's worried because he doesn't know who helped them escape. I rub his shoulder, and he relaxes a little. The dining room is already full when we get there, and Xanthus and I take our seats. Maids rush in to serve us, and conversations are happening between Xanthus and his family. I occasionally join in, but my mind keeps drifting to how I'm going to tell Xanthus about Logan. Speaking of Logan, he isn't here, and neither is Lilith. You've barely eaten anything. Are you sure you're okay? Doran asks, looking at me with concern. Everyone turns to look at me, which makes me feel awkward. Yes, I'm fine, I say quickly, but now I sound suspicious. Jojen stares at me, worried. Is it a yes or a no? Xanthus asks. It's a yes, I just need to lay down, I say. Xanthus looks at my food, then at my face. Aurora, sit down and eat. His voice is suddenly harsh, and I sit down without questioning, desperately trying to blink back tears. Exe. No, Jojen, she has to eat. The human body needs food to survive, and I won't let my mate starve, Xanthus says, his eyes locked on mine. If I have to feed you myself, he takes a deep breath. Please eat, he says more calmly, but I can hear the tension in his voice. I'm sorry I'm late, Logan says, walking into the dining room and ignoring the tension. Your presence wasn't needed anyway, Jojen remarks. Logan glares at her before turning his gaze on me, looking at me with questions in his eyes. I ignore him and eat my food. Why was Logan late to dinner? After lunch, Recall approaches me. You've been avoiding me, he says as I walk out of the castle, with Recall following closely behind. My yellow dress sways in the breeze. It's a beautiful night, the sky full of stars and the moon high above. I haven't, I roll my eyes at his response. Okay, maybe I have just a little bit, he says, making a tiny space between his index finger and thumb. I believe you, I reply sarcastically. The rogue attacks have been happening more often. I'm sorry, he says. I face him and smile warmly. I understand. Movie tomorrow? I ask. Definitely, he says, and I give him a hug. About what Xanthus, I start to say, but then I wave him off. What he said was true, I say, then turn to head towards my room without waiting for Recall's response. I change out of my dress and take a shower. Then I put on my purple nightgown. Time for bed, I whisper to myself. I jump into my bed and hug my pillow tightly. I toss and turn, unable to sleep because I can't stop thinking about why Logan was late to dinner. He's never been late before. So why was he late today? Come on, sleep, Aurora. I tell myself. Maybe he just decided to be late today. I sigh for the 5th time and finally decide I'll ask him tomorrow morning. With that thought, I close my eyes and fall asleep. I wake up to the sunlight shining through my eyelids. A yawn escapes my lips. I sit up in bed and look around the empty room. It's strange that no maids are in here. It's actually a good thing there are no maids right now. I take my bath and put on a white long dress with spaghetti straps. The roses on the dress make it look even more beautiful. I put my hair up and am ready for breakfast. Good morning, beautiful. It was a good morning until I saw your face. I smirk as Logan's face falls. Where were you yesterday? I ask, and his eyebrows raise before he gives me a teasing grin. Why? Were you worried? He teases. I laugh. Me worried about you? I don't think so. I stopped caring the day you left me. With that, I walk into the dining room, take my seat, and Xanthus walks in right after me. The maid serves us breakfast, and this time, I finish all my food. In the afternoon, Josian and I are sitting in a movie room that I didn't even know existed. It's so great that my brother decided to turn this room into a movie room for you, she gushes. Now, to pick a movie. She places her hand under her chin. The room is huge, with 4 long couches scattered around. The walls are painted a pale yellow, and a massive flat-screen TV is mounted on the wall. There's a rack full of movies, which Josian is flipping through. Who's going to put those back? I ask. She shrugs. I dunno, anyone, she says as she continues searching for a movie. The door opens, and Logan steps inside with a nervous look on his face. Listen, before he can finish his sentence, we hear a loud roar. Aurora. Xanthus storms in, his expression furious. His horns are growing from his head, and his gray eyes are pitch black as he looks around the room. Were you ever planning to tell me? He demands, grabbing Logan and slamming his head against the wall. Tell you what? I scream. Blood is pouring from Logan's head. Were you ever going to tell me you were still sleeping with my cousin? Zanthis yells. Oh my God. Josian steps forward, but one look from Zanthis makes her shrink back. Were you ever going to tell me, dear cousin? Xanthus sneers at Logan. Who told you? Logan says, clearly defensive. I'm not sleeping with Logan, Aurora, Logan and I say at the same time. Logan's answer only seems to make Xanthus angrier. His eyes turn pitch black, and his horns are fully gray. His skin starts turning a fiery red, and the sky outside darkens with storm clouds. Thunder roars from miles away. This is the real Asmodeus that everyone talks about. Asmodeus punches Logan so hard I hear a crack, and both Josian and I scream. Zanthus, please listen. Josian begs, but Xanthus throws Logan onto a shelf and then turns to face me. I swear Logan and I have nothing, I start, but he cuts me off. You speak nothing but lies, he roars. The wind picks up violently in the room, and lightning strikes outside. Xanthus pulls a blade from his pocket and cuts his palm. What are you doing? I stutter, my tears rolling down my cheeks. He gives me a wicked smile and says, I'm opening a portal to Tartarus to throw your lover in. Josian and I gasp at the same time. No, Xanthus, no. I shout. I might hate Logan, but I wouldn't wish for him to go there. Tartarus is a place that can break even the toughest people. You're right. Sending him there is child's play, Xanthus says, moving towards me with that same sinister smile. Stay away from her, Logan says, panting. Xanthus snaps Logan's neck in an instant, then in the blink of an eye, he's standing right in front of me. Asmodeus, think about this. Josian pleads. Xanthus picks me up and sinks his fangs into my neck. I scream. The pain is worse than the time I let him drink my blood before. It feels like my entire body is on fire, especially on my back. It's like I'm being burned alive. Please. I scream, and he retracts his fangs, staring at me with a satisfied smile as he licks my blood off his lips. What did you do? I ask, touching my neck. You'll see, he says before I feel my eyes roll back into my head, and everything goes black. I wake up to the sound of Logan's voice arguing with Jojen. You can't tell her. She's been through too much. Jojen whispers harshly. Suddenly, everything comes rushing back to me, and I start sobbing. Logan is beside me, rubbing my shoulders. What happened? The doctor asks as he walks into the room. You were marked, he answers. Marked? How? I ask. Asmodeus marked you. He claimed you. Nothing can separate you two anymore, the doctor explains. I gasp, and Logan looks at me with eyes full of pain. What's wrong? I ask slowly. He looks at Jojen, who shakes her head. Isabel is dead, Logan says quietly. Wanting to see what would happen next, why not subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories? Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 20. Isabel? But how is she dead? My parents told me she had a fever. As far as I know, a fever isn't something that can take a life. I turn to the other side of the bed to throw up, and a black, slimy substance comes out of my mouth. What's happening to me? I cry out, and Jojen gently rubs my back. Fever? That's what you were told? You don't remember, do you? She asks. I shake my head. Logan sighs, clearly annoyed. He took your memories away, he says, shaking his head. Logan. Jojen begins, but Logan interrupts. No. He took away her memories and marked her. Is this okay for you? Logan exclaims, his voice filled with anger. I feel the nape of my neck burn, and when I touch it, I flinch as I feel a bandage there. That must be where he marked me. I'm not saying it's okay, but telling her everything right now isn't okay either. Jojen yells at Logan. Look, my brother is hurt right now. I promise he'll come around and feel bad for marking you like that. Please don't give up, she says and leaves the room. Logan places his hand on my head and closes his eyes. What are you doing? I ask. Shoo, I'm returning your memories, he says softly, and suddenly everything floods back to me. My birthday, the reflection of a demon I saw when I went to the bathroom at the party, and when I got home from the party. Isabel holding me close, Zanthis pulling me into a portal after he pushed my sister down the stairs. Tears start to roll down my cheeks. He killed her, I sob. Yes, he did, Logan says as he pulls me into a hug, and I cry on his shoulder. There's a way to bring her back. I throw up the same slimy substance again. I grimace. It's the mark, he must be with another female, I groan as the mark burns again. I interrupt Logan. What were you saying? I'm not in the mood to think about Xanthus right now. All I care about is my sister. She can be brought back to life. My brother can help, but she will be bound to another mystical creature, Logan warns. Can I see her? I ask, wiping away my tears. We'll have to teleport to the hospital where she is, Logan replies. I nod, and Logan opens his arms. He puts his jacket around my shoulders to hide the bandage and the small blood stains on my dress. Close your eyes, he whispers. I close my eyes, and when I open them again, I realize we are at the back of the hospital. If we teleported to the front, it would be weird, Logan explains, leading me inside. I see my dad comforting my mom. Mom, Dad, I cry out, and they both lift their heads. My mom is the first to hug me, and I bite my lip to stop myself from crying from the sudden pain. Rory, why you're really here? Rick, it's really her, my mom cries, and my father hugs us both tightly. When the hug tightens, I cry out, and they let go. Why didn't you tell me? I ask as I take my seat, forgetting about Logan. We didn't want you to worry, my mom says through her tears. What's wrong? You've looked so upset since you got here, and why are you wearing a jacket? Are you okay? My dad starts asking more questions, but I stop him before he can continue. Nothing's wrong. I'm wearing a jacket because it's a new style in Daffian, and yes, I'm okay. I force a fake smile. Can I see Isabel? I ask, before my dad can ask me anything else that would force me to tell them what happened. I don't want to trouble them with my problems. Yeah, sure. She's still in a coma, my mom replies, leading me to her room. I frown. Logan told me she's dead, but how can she be in a coma if she's dead? I'll go in with Logan, my mom adds, finally noticing Logan, who waves at them. We enter Isabel's room, and I gasp. Her once red cheeks are now as pale as snow. Her skin is ice cold, and even her brown hair looks lifeless. I blink away my tears, and Logan places a bottle of something on her lips. What's that? I ask. He doesn't answer, but a brown strand of her hair turns red. Logan, what the hell are you doing? I panic as her skin starts to return to its normal color and her hair regains the life it once had. She looks almost back to normal. What's that? Why does she have red in her hair? I ask. That's what binds her to the mystical creature, Logan answers. What mystical creature? I don't know, he says. I stagger a bit as I feel dizzy, and my mark burns harder. Logan. I cry. Logan removes his jacket and unwraps the bandage. At that moment, my parents enter the room. My mom is the first to gasp. What happened? Did you fall? My dad's face shows anger as he sees me crying. My body feels hot, like I'm on fire. Why am I so hot, Logan? I cry out. He marked her, my dad says angrily. My mom starts crying. We need to get back. The distance between the two of you isn't good for you, Logan says, pulling me closer to him, but I push him away, feeling worse in his arms. I'm not ready to go. I just saw my family again, and who knows when I'll be able to come back. I say, voice shaking. No, sweetie, you have to go. I promise we'll try to visit you. Please go with him. Let him take care of your mark, and when we meet again, you'll tell us everything. I hug my parents one last time before Logan pulls me into a portal. When I open my eyes, I realize we are back at the hospital in Daffian. I push Logan away when I feel uncomfortable in his arms. Thank you, and sorry about your jacket, I say as I lie down on the bed. Wanting to see what would happen next, why not subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories? Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 21. Maybe we should grab a demon from Tartarus to find out why we've been getting attacked, a demon suggests, and I roll my eyes. Idiot. No, that would be dumb, Lisa, my personal witch, says. It's been 3 days since everything happened, and when I get irritated by these demons' silly ideas, I usually just ignore them. What about you, Lord Asmodeus, someone says, and I sigh, waving to him. See? He doesn't care because your opinions are ridiculous. Lisa mocks him, and he grumbles under his breath. Guess what, bitch? No one cares about you, that's why you're hanging out with demons who would chew you up like a toy. You try to be friends with Lord just to be protected. She casts a spell on him, making him drop to the floor, groaning in pain. I chuckle. Zachary, you should know better than to mess with a witch, I say to him, and Lisa keeps smirking. All right. You've got 3 more days to come up with better ideas. I stand up and walk out. My beast has been restless ever since we forced that mark on Aurora. Truth is, we're more hurt than angry. I walk into my study and realize I'm not in Daffian anymore. Why did you bring me here? I ask Rick and Bethany, Aurora's parents. You broke our deal, they say. A witch holds me in a circle, and I can tell she's scared. What deal? I ask smugly. You hurt Aurora, Bethany says. I can't believe I was ever friends with her. I saved her from a demon when she was still a teenager. She wanted to prove to her parents she was strong enough to kill a full-grown demon. You should be grateful I even let you live after you allowed her to have a boyfriend. I let her stay with you because I trusted you wouldn't let her near any males. So if anyone should be mad, it's me. I try to step out of the circle, but I'm pushed back in. I face the witch, who's trembling. If I can break her focus, I can get out of here. You should let me go before you make me angry, I warn. She wipes the sweat from her forehead and shakes her head. Brave, but stupid. Your coven shouldn't mess with demons, especially one like me. She's shaking, and I can tell she's so scared she wet herself. I am not scared of you, she stammers, and loses her concentration. I step out of the circle with a smirk. She gasps, and tears start to fall down her cheeks. You marked her forcefully, she accuses. You let her sleep with another demon, I reply, my eyes darkening. I see Bethany moving behind her husband, the witch tries to sneak away, but I grab her head and quickly decapitate her. Her body hits the floor with a thud. Dead. Not my problem. Oh, look, you'll have to explain that to her coven, I say with a smirk as I open a portal to Daffian. What the hell is wrong with you? I see Doran waiting for me in my study. Excuse me? I frown as I sit down. Why would you do that to Aurora? A growl escapes my lips. What I do to my mate is none of your business, Doran, I respond flatly. You hurt the person you're supposed to spend your life with, all because of something she had no control over. You marked her, then locked her in a room all alone. I stand up, facing him with an angry look. You know damn well why I locked her in the room. We've been dealing with more rogue attacks, and knowing Aurora, she wouldn't listen if I told her to stay in. I yell at him. I may be mad at her, but I would never lock her up for no reason. And I would never hurt her. Dark clouds are gathering outside. Really? You marked her against her will. She was already in pain before you locked her up. Did you even ask if she was okay? No. You didn't even listen to what she had to say. Tell me, Doran, if it were your mate, what would you do? I ask, and he stays quiet, proving me right. That's not the point. You didn't let her explain herself, he snarls at me. What's there to explain? I reply coldly, and with that, he storms out of my study, slamming the door behind him. Flashback. The door to my study opens, and Lilith walks in, sighing in frustration. What do you want now, Lilith? I ask, already annoyed. She places her hands on my shoulders and rests her jaw on my head. If you don't have anything to say, get out. I point to the door after I push her away. Look, I understand you have a mate and want to stay loyal to her, but the real question you should be asking yourself is she loyal to you? I finally give her my attention and see that she's holding a brown envelope. What? Look, I don't have time for your nonsense, I mutter. She moves closer and drops the envelope in front of me, and I raise an eyebrow. Your mate has been having an affair with your cousin, Logan, she says. I scoff. Like I'd believe you, I say. She pushes the envelope closer to me. I open it and see pictures of Aurora and Logan. There's one of her laughing with Logan. Another shows them kissing, and there's one where she's lying on his bare chest, in her underwear. I throw the pictures away, growling. No, I refuse to believe she's having an affair with him. They are fake. I growl. Have you ever wondered why she smells like Logan? Or how Logan knows what she likes and what she's allergic to? She presses. She's right. Aurora is having an affair with Logan. Lilith moves closer and kisses me. I push her off, and she crashes into the wall. Stay the hell away from me. I shout, then roar Aurora's name. Flashback over. What's there to listen to? She betrayed me, she's having an affair with Logan, and I marked her because I was terrified she would leave me for him. I hear a giggle from my right, so I turn, but no one's there. The giggle comes from my left. I don't know what games you're playing, but you chose the wrong day to mess with me, I say, my voice low. Can't you take a joke, demon? A messenger appears before me, wearing a brown cloak. What do you want? I eye her angrily. Messengers are humans blessed with the power of slow aging and the ability to travel between realms without portals. They're sent by the gods to deliver messages, and I can't stand them. She smirks at me. I've come to deliver a message to you. I roll my eyes. Isn't that what you do? Jump from realm to realm delivering messages to the lords? I smirk as I watch her get irritated. Says the demon who forcefully marked his mate. Not this again. She sits down, staring at me. I don't need your advice, I say dismissively. Oh, trust me, I know, she says. But I'm forced to be here. If I don't give you the message, I'll get punished, and you're not worth me getting punished for. You're going to lose your mate, she says. I stand up quickly. What? I yell. She rolls her eyes. If you don't stop being a jerk, that's what I was going to say before you interrupted me. She sighs and sits back down, releasing a breath of relief. What do you mean? I frown, unsure of what she's saying. Each minute you spend being a jerk, you're losing your mate, she says. I think my actions are justified, I reply, and I can see the anger flashing in her eyes. You forcefully marked her, she shouts. Only because she's having an affair with my cousin. I yell back. She had no idea you were her mate. She was just living her life like a normal teenager before you showed up. Her parents never told her she was Asmodeus' mate. She never told them she had a boyfriend. You marked her because you were afraid she would leave you, but with each passing day, you're losing her to the one who's offering her comfort. I stagger a little from what she just said. What? My voice is small and soft. She's human. Humans open their hearts to those who offer them comfort. Right now, someone else is giving her comfort, and you're going to lose her. Mark or no mark, the gods won't step in and fix this, she says, and then she disappears. I don't want to lose her. I should have listened to her explanation. But none of that matters now because I'm going to get my mate back. Wanting to see what would happen next, why not subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories? Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 22. I rest my head against the door as I wait for Logan to arrive. I'm here, I hear his cheerful tone. This has become our routine for the past 3 days. He comes and sits on the other side of the door, and we talk about the most random things. Sometimes the mark on my neck burns painfully, but I try to ignore it. Zanthis hasn't come to visit, and as much as I hate to admit it, I miss him. I actually miss our random fights and arguments. I gasp as the mark burns painfully again, but I remind myself to ignore it. Logan, I say. I look around the room, the same room I've been in for 3 days. Have you eaten? Logan asks. Yes, I say. No, I haven't eaten. I can't stomach any food. Every morning, before I wake up, the maids bring food to me. On the first day, I ate and then vomited. At night, food would be delivered again before I could even get out of the bathroom. But after I threw up each time, I stopped eating, though the vomiting didn't stop. Every time I throw up, it's always this black, slimy substance. Are you still vomiting? Logan asks. I told him about the vomiting on the first day, and ever since, he keeps asking me the same question. I always answer with a simple no. No, I answer, shifting so I can be more comfortable on the floor where I'm sitting. I clear my throat, preparing to ask him some questions that have been bothering me. Logan, I call, wanting to make sure he's still there. Yes, he answers, and I almost smile. Almost. I haven't been able to smile because I know Xanthus is still angry with me. I admit, I should have told him Logan was my ex-boyfriend, but it's not my fault. I didn't know he was my mate. I want nothing but for you to be honest with me, I say, and I imagine him nodding in response. When we went to the hospital, my sister was still in a coma, but you said she was dead, I say, my voice filled with confusion. My brother saw her soul, he answers hesitantly. What? I frown, even more confused than before. To humans, she looked like she was still in a coma, but she was already dead for 12 hours, he says. I gasp. I know she's all right now, but hearing that she died brings tears to my eyes. Isabel may have been annoying, but she's still my little sister. Oh, thank you, I say quietly. Why did you put that stuff in my drink on the night of the dance? I ask. I hear him sigh. I didn't, he says. Yes, you did, I reply. Fine, I did. I was hurt that you didn't want anything to do with me. I was hurt that you'd rather stay with Xanthus, Logan admits. If I hadn't been with Xanthus that night, what would you have done with me? I ask. He doesn't say anything. Logan, I call again, and I hear him whisper something. I can't hear you, I say, really wanting to hear his answer. I would have had my way with you, he says, with shame in his voice. I open my mouth to yell at him, but then the mark on my neck burns aggressively, like something is trying to break free. I bite my lip to stop myself from screaming. Look, I wasn't myself that night, and I'm sorry, Logan says desperately. I cup the bandaged area of my neck that hides the mark. Aurora? Are you okay? He asks. Why yes, I'm not going to say I'm not mad that you thought of that, I reply, and he sighs. I understand, he whispers. The pain in my neck starts to lessen, but it still burns and hurts me. My mind drifts to Zanthis. I wonder what he's doing. Is he with Lilith? Does he hate me now? Sadly, I have no answers to my questions. I only manipulated your dreams to show you what a monster my cousin is, Logan says, his words harsh. You're no different, Logan, I say lazily. I'm different from him. He forcefully marked you. Logan snaps. Only because I didn't tell him about us. Don't judge someone when you're not much better, I retort. Are you seriously defending him? Logan's voice is full of fury. You were going to rape me, Logan, I say flatly. It wouldn't have been rape if you wanted it, he replies. The mark burns as a warning. I don't get why you can see that my cousin is selfish. I mean, he marked you and locked you in a room all alone, Logan says. Enough, Logan. I get it, yes he marked me, yes he locked me in a room, but he only marked me because I didn't tell him about us. Whoever told him what happened between us must have told him a lie and made him that mad. I'm tired of hearing Logan tell me the same thing. I get it. He marked me out of anger, and I'm mad at him, but I can't stand Logan talking about Xanthus like this. The mark can't stand it, and neither can I. Let's agree he marked you because he was angry. But why did he lock you up? Logan asks. I stay quiet because I don't know. I have no answer to his question, and I'm sure my inability to answer just makes him even more mad. Even you know my cousin is a psychopath, he scoffs. He must have his reasons, I whisper. Oh sure, he answers sarcastically. You're just so naive. I ignore him. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Logan trails off. Save it, Logan, I say, resting my head against the door. A groan escapes my lips as my mark becomes hotter than it has ever been. It feels like fire running through my entire body, and I place my hand on the bandaged mark, but it only makes it worse. Shoo, Logan whispers, his tone filled with surprise. He's coming. Who's coming? I pant, furrowing my eyebrows as the burn from the mark intensifies. Zanthis. I'll talk to you later, Logan says quickly. I suddenly feel bile rise in my throat, and before I can get to the toilet, I puke everything out. I grimace as I see the black, slimy substance. My mark becomes unbearably hot, and I can't stop throwing up. Aurora? I hear a distant voice calling. I can't concentrate because I'm too busy throwing up. I feel a hand rubbing my hair. What happened? I look up to see a pair of gray eyes staring at me, full of concern. He looks at the puddle of puke on the floor and frowns. Aurora? His voice sounds distant, and I scream as the pain from my mark gets worse. It's getting harder to breathe, I cry, and he picks me up in a bridal carry, laying me on the bed. Through my half-closed eyes, I see a woman come in with a brown bag. She rubs my hair and says something in a language I don't understand. Ah! I scream as I feel my body go up in flames. Aurora, Aurora, listen to me, focus on me, Xanthus pleads. What's wrong with her? He snaps at the woman. Her body is rejecting your mark, she explains. Xanthus whips his head toward her, clearly angry. What? Well, you see, it's called mate and mark for a reason, she sasses. She places her hand on my head and rips the bandage off. What do you mean? Xanthus frowns. She sighs like she's frustrated with him. You're supposed to mate first and then mark her. But you broke the rules. Instead of mating and marking her, you marked her first and then ignored her. The mark feels ignored and wants to leave, which is why it's causing her pain. Let her use this herb, and she'll be fine. What about the mark? Xanthus asks, still worried. I feel the pain slowly leaving my body, and I start to feel sleepy. It will stay as long as you aren't too far apart or if it's given attention. Oh, and you should mate as soon as possible, she says. I close my eyes and welcome the darkness. Chapter 23. I try to sit up, but Xanthus quickly moves to my side. I pull my arm away from him, feeling a spark spread through my body. Don't touch me. I snap. His face shows pain. Are you in pain? He asks softly. Not like you care, I hiss at him, my tone full of venom. I do care, he says. I touch my neck and feel nothing but smooth skin there. I move my finger a little, and I wince from the pain. How long was I out? I ask. 2 days, the herbs knocked you out, he replies. I nod at his explanation. I need a bath, I say. I'll call the maids, he offers, his eyes filled with doubt. You just woke up. You don't have the strength, Aurora. I don't need people bathing me, Xanthus, I say slowly, and he flinches at my tone. He nods and leaves the room. I just need some space away from him. Once I'm in the bathtub, the maids prepare the water for me. I get comfortable in the warm, vanilla-scented water. I think about everything that's happened since my birthday. And then, I start to cry. I cry for the loss of my sister. I cry because I was taken on my birthday. I cry because I was marked against my will and then locked in a room where I was slowly dying. I cry because I miss my family. I miss our fights. I miss our family days. I miss the training I did with my dad, even though it was stressful and annoying, I still miss it. Everything is so messed up. I have a mark on the back of my neck to remind me of it all. After I finish crying, I finish my bath and stare at the mark in the mirror. It's a circle with strange designs inside, deep red, and it looks like it's made of lava. There's something written under it, but it isn't in English. I'll ask someone to translate it for me later, but right now, I need to eat. I go to my room, and the food has already been delivered. I put on a simple pair of jeans and a plain white top before I devour my food. After eating, I take the herbs that were given to me before I fell asleep. I touch the mark again with my pointer finger, and just like before, it hurts, almost burning me. At least I'm not throwing up my insides like I did before. I step out of the room and walk toward the voices I hear. No one notices I'm there, and I'm happy about that because I have no strength to respond to people, especially with a fake smile like, I'm fine, when I clearly am not. Jojin is wearing a purple dress and a lot of makeup. She's going out. We can't go on the date, she says to her mate, who frowns. But, he starts to say. No one will watch the kids. All the babysitters are too scared of them, she chuckles at the end. I need a distraction from what's been happening the last few days, and I think I know just what to do. I'll watch them for you, I offer. They both freeze at the sound of my voice. Aurora. Jojen hugs me, and I hug her back. How are you? She asks. I know she's going to ask, and I already know what I'm going to say. With a fake smile, I answer, I'm fine, thank you. It's a lie. I'm far from fine. I'll watch your kids for you. You can go on your date, I say. I see her mate's face light up, while Jojen still looks unsure. You just woke up, and my kids are a handful, she says. You don't have to worry. I'm not fragile, I roll my eyes playfully. Well, if you insist. I see her mate practically ready to dance in excitement. Archer. Amelie, she calls, and they both come out looking guilty. What did you do this time? She asks, crossing her arms. Nothing. Archer pushed Mary into the pond. Amelie accuses, pointing at her brother, who looks shocked. You're just as guilty as I am, he says to her. You pushed Mary into a pond? Jojen says, her tone stern, and both kids flinch at her voice. Amelie looks at her mother innocently, opening her arms to her, but Jojen glares at her. You know I'm innocent, Amelie pouts. Jojen turns to me, hoping I haven't changed my mind about watching the kids. I'll watch them. Have fun. I know I'm going to, I whisper to myself as I get ready to take on the challenge. We didn't mean to push her, Archer says. She got what she deserved. I shrug as they wave to their parents. Can we prank more people? Archer and Amelie ask eagerly. I pretend to think for a moment and then see their faces fall. Kids, pranking isn't good, I say, though my expression says something different. They read my face and nod in understanding. Let's watch cartoons, I suggest. You love SpongeBob, right? They both look at me strangely. What is SpongeBob? They ask. How do they not know who SpongeBob is? SpongeBob SquarePants, I say. No, never heard of it, Archer replies. We need to fix that, I say, pulling them toward the movie room. I saw a SpongeBob CD here. I pull it out with a grin while the kids sit down, each holding a bowl of popcorn. I put the SpongeBob CD into the player and grab my own popcorn. After an hour of watching SpongeBob, Amelie looks excited for the next episode, while Archer looks horrified. I've never seen anyone dumber than SpongeBob, he exclaims. No, the star one is dumber. Amelie says, referring to Patrick. I was wondering where you were, Corina says as she walks into the room with a smile. I've never seen them this quiet, she adds, watching the kids focus on SpongeBob. Archer insists he doesn't like the cartoon, but it's obvious he does. Hey, I wave at Corina, and she sits down beside me. She sighs and rests her head on my shoulder. What's wrong? I ask. One word, Hoaric, she says. I look at her and realize she looks exhausted. There are dark circles under her eyes, and I notice a bruise that she tried to cover with makeup, but she didn't do a very good job. Corina, Hoaric doesn't abuse you, does he? I ask carefully, watching her eyes go wide. What? Dee, don't be ridiculous, of course, he doesn't, she lies, avoiding eye contact. Okay, sorry I asked, I say, pretending to believe her. I guess when she's ready to talk, she will. Isabel's birthday is coming up, I say, thinking about my little sister. She always loved her birthdays so much that she would stay awake the whole day before her birthday. The moment the clock strikes midnight, she'd ring a bell to wake everyone up. Now, I won't be able to witness her 13th birthday. Oh, Isabel, your sister? Corina says. I nod. I'm sorry. You heard what happened to her, right? I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose, she says. I give her a small smile. She's alive now, that's all that matters, I say, trying to convince myself. I look at the seat where the kids were sitting, only to see Archer's seat is empty. Amelie is still sitting there, her attention fully on the cartoon. Where's Archer? I panic. Amelie shrugs, not taking her eyes off the TV. Then we hear a cry, and Corina and I both jump up and rush toward the sound. We see Mary sitting on the floor, tears rolling down her cheeks. I try to rush to her, but someone grabs my shirt. I turn and see Archer laughing at her. "You did this?" I ask. He's holding a bottle of oil, the one she must have slipped on. "Sorry," he says. "Why would you do that?" I ask. He looks down. "Apologize to her and mean it," I say. He apologizes to Mary, who tries to get up but slips and falls again. Corina chuckles a little, and eventually, Mary gets up and leaves. "Don't do that again," I tell Archer, who nods and runs back to the movie room. When I get to my room, I lay down on my bed. I had asked Corina to watch the kids. I hear the door to my room open, and the mark on my neck hums with warmth. Xanthus steps into view. "Aurora. We had a deal," I say, happy that I remembered the deal. "And I want to return home," I add, seeing fear and vulnerability in his eyes. "I was mad, please don't leave," he pleads. "I'm not leaving permanently. I just need some time to think. I don't have good memories here. Maybe when I understand myself and I'm stable, I'll return, but please let me leave," I explain. He holds my head between his hands and stares into my eyes. "As you wish," he says, and opens a portal. "Thank you," I whisper. "I am a demon, and I'll come back for you," he says. "Goodbye, Zanthis," I say, the last words I speak to him before stepping into the portal. Wanting to see what would happen next, why not subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories? Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 24. When I open my eyes, I find myself standing in my parents' living room. Outside, it's dark since it's nighttime. No one is awake right now. With a small smile on my face, I quietly walk up the stairs to my old room, ready to surprise my family with my arrival the next morning. I scrunch my face as I feel a presence hovering near me. Is it really her? I hear a female voice whisper. What kind of joke are the witches playing on us? I roll to the other side of the bed, trying to ignore the voices. When neither of them stops talking, I slowly open my eyes. "Rory?" My mom calls. I jump into her arms and hug her tightly. "You're really here," she says, patting my back. My dad smiles at me, and I laugh happily, hugging him too. I'm back home, where I belong. Have a bath and come downstairs for breakfast. Oh, Ernest and Isabel are going to be so happy. My mom squeals. I come out of the bathroom with a towel wrapped around me and another on my head. I walk over to the small table beside my bed and pick up a note I see placed next to the herbs. I never brought them with me, I think as I unfold the note. You left your herbs back at Daffian, so I had to teleport there while you were in the bathroom. Don't worry, I didn't peek. Kisses, Xanthus. Wait, I think human's right, Zoxo instead of kisses. Zoxo, Zanthis. A goofy smile spreads across my lips as I take my herbs. I change into a light pink top with blue jeans and put my hair up in a ponytail. I blame the mark for making me smile at his note. I go downstairs and see my parents and Ernest waiting for me, all with smiles on their faces. Ernest runs and hugs me tightly. I'm happy you're back, he says, and I hug him back. Where's Isabel? I ask, since she's usually the first one down for breakfast. She's, coming, my mom says. I made your favorite, she adds with a smile. We're not waiting for her? I ask. No, when she's hungry, she'll come down, my dad replies. That's strange, it's always been a rule in our family that we eat breakfast and dinner together. My dad says it helps strengthen our bond as a family. Is she okay? I ask suspiciously. Yes, sweetie, my mom reassures me. I nod but stay suspicious. I'll find out later. How are you here? Not that we're not happy to see you, my mom says. We had a deal, I say, taking a bite of my cinnamon rolls. What deal? My dad asks. The deal was if he ever hurts me, he would let me come home. And so I'm here, I explain. The rest of breakfast is spent catching up with my family. Isabel was never there, but my parents don't mention her absence. I'll ask Jack if I can still work there, I say, standing up and putting on a jacket. Honey, you just got back, my mom says. I know, I reply, kissing her on the cheek before heading out the door. I walk to the little cafe where I used to work and see Jack, the cafe owner, talking to someone. Hi, I say. He turns to me and smiles brightly. Aurora, he exclaims. Where have you been? He asks, dismissing the person he was talking to. Well, I, traveled. Yeah, traveled, I lie. It's not like I can tell him I was kidnapped by a demon lord, forcefully marked by him, and now I'm back to try to get my old job back. I came to ask if I could have my old job back, I say, secretly crossing my fingers. Sure, everyone misses you, even my customers ask where you've been, Jack replies. I smile happily. He places his hand on my shoulder, but I jump when the mark burns angrily. Are you okay? He asks. I nod and smile, I'll start tomorrow. The next day, I wake up and stare at myself in the mirror while getting dressed. I wear an oversized sweater and blue jeans. I pull the sweater up to cover the mark. There, everything is back to normal. Well, almost. I have breakfast with my family, but still, there's no sign of Isabel. When I get to work, I see Troy, the biggest flirt on earth. I sigh, not that I hate him, but he's just so annoying. When Jack said you were coming back today, I thought he was lying, he says as he hugs me. I push him away, my face twisted in pain. What's wrong? He asks, noticing my discomfort. Nothing, you're just stronger than before, I lie. He may have muscles, but he's not as strong as he thinks. I know. I'm sorry I almost crushed you with my super strength, he says, and I cringe inside. The rest of the week, I notice 3 men walking into the cafe, sitting down without ordering anything. They just stare at me until I leave. Today, I'm going to call them out. Hello, I say, giving them a fake smile. They shift uncomfortably. Hi, they say. Tell your lord I don't need 3 guards watching me on earth, I say, crossing my arms. What lord? They ask, pretending they don't know what I'm talking about. You really think I wouldn't notice 3 men who mysteriously appeared when I returned to Earth and started following me? And you're sitting here at my workplace, watching me? You follow me home in the shadows, really? I say, my frustration building. We don't know what you're talking about, they deny. Either order something or get out. I stand up and leave them, feeling my anger start to cool. When I step into my house, I see Isabel staring blankly at the TV. I sit next to her, and she doesn't even turn around. I haven't seen you since I came back, I say, hoping she'll say something. Okay, she responds, flatly. You haven't been eating with us, I say, trying to get a conversation out of her. Okay, she says again, not even looking at me. Welcome back, I hope you enjoy your stay, she says in a monotone voice, then leaves the room. That isn't my sister. She's usually happy, always smiling. Now, she just acts dead. I lie on my bed, staring at the ceiling. Suddenly, the door bursts open, and someone crashes into me. You're really back. Holly exclaims, hugging me tightly. Yes, Holly, I laugh, but then she pushes me away and glares at me. Where have you been? She demands. I rub my sore bottom with a frown on my face. And don't tell me you were with your cousin, because I know that's a lie, she says. Cousin? That's where I was, I nod in agreement with my lie. She throws a pillow at my head. Liar. Come on, where were you? She presses. What were you told? I ask as I sit on the bed. That your cousin was going through a divorce, she says. I don't even have a cousin who is 16, I say, staring at her. She looks at me, confused. You're right, I wasn't with my cousin, I admit. I trust her, she's my best friend. I think we've established that, so where was I? I was in Daffian, I say, and then I tell her everything. When I finish, her mouth is hanging open. Tell me, is he hot? She asks, completely unfazed by everything I just said. What? I blink, shocked. Well, is he hot? She asks again. I just told you, he kidnapped me and then marked me forcefully. I say, now frustrated. Sorry, that doesn't answer my question, she says, crossing her arms. Fine, then, he's hot, I roll my eyes, but I can't help smiling. But I'm mad at him. I add. I understand. Well, now you're here, and that's all that matters, she says, pulling me into a hug. Yeah, everything is almost back to normal. Wanting to see what would happen next? Why not subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories? Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 25. Logan lied too? He spiked your drink as well? I nod. Humph. She crosses her arms and huffs. Please tell me you made him feel some sort of pain, she pleads. What? You didn't? What about all the things I thought of you as? Holly pushes my shoulder. What else did I miss while I was gone? I ask as I hug a pillow to my chest. Oh, nothing, just that Justin cheated on me, she shrugs. I gasp. You're joking, I say, hoping she's just playing with me, but her expression says otherwise. What? Why? I ask. Justin had been her boyfriend for 3 years, so this must have really hurt her. Well, I never asked him. After I found out, I burned his house and stole the engine from his car. Not without some help, of course, she smirks. A laugh escapes from me. You know how much he loves that car. I mean, he worked so hard to buy it. And the house was a gift from his grandparents after his parents kicked him out, I remind her. She just shrugs. Guess he'll have to move back in with mommy and daddy, she says, faking a sad pout. Oh wait, he can't, not without paying rent. I shake my head at her craziness. Holly's revenge ideas always freak me out. I remember when she pushed a girl into a pond just because the girl called her a duck in front of her crush. When I came up here, I saw Isabel, or at least I thought I did. She's not the same. She didn't even smile at me, Holly says. Isabel used to adore Holly. I was even a bit jealous of their relationship, until Isabel told me that she liked Holly because she knew how to get revenge when someone hurt her. Yeah, she's been like that since I came back, I absent-mindedly touch my mark. Maybe she's an alien that was planted on Earth to eat our brains, she whispers. I thought zombies eat brains, I say to her. Then what do aliens eat? She asks. I don't know, I shrug. I'm happy you're back. Next week we can go shopping, and then you can watch me take my driver's test. Holly, you know I'm just here temporarily. As much as I would like to pretend I never went to Daffian, that Asmodeus isn't my mate, I can't. I have a mark on my neck that is a constant reminder. It burns me every time someone of the opposite sex touches me. I can't pretend none of this is real. I probably won't be here next week because the mark can only burn so little before it needs the attention of its master, I finish, deep in thought. Holly hugs me tightly as she cries with me. I just wish you could stay forever. Do you remember how we became friends? She asks, and a small laugh escapes from me. Of course. You were the new student, and I was being bullied by Abigail, but you pushed her down the slide the wrong way, and she got her foot stuck after she poured sand into my ice cream. You offered to share yours with me, and that's how we became friends, I smile. Really? That's how we became friends? I thought it would have been more dramatic, more epic, she says. I throw a pillow at her, and she dodges it, throwing it back. Shit. I have to go pick up my cousin, she says as she puts on her shoes. Oh, you mean Mark? Yeah, he usually comes to visit me because of Isabel. I think he has a crush on her, she whispers the last part. Isabel's birthday is in 4 days, I say. I nod, already thinking about how I can plan her birthday, but first, I need to get her to speak more than one word. Bye I say, hugging her. Bye, she waves as she walks home. I sit down to watch TV. My mom and dad come in, followed by Ernest, who looks like he wrestled with a mud puddle and lost. What happened? I ask, frowning at my giggling brother. Well, we took Ernest to the park, and the rest is self-explanatory. My mom gestures to his muddy shirt. Ah, I say. After my mom changes Ernest, she sits with my dad and me in the living room. I decide to ask them about Isabel. I lower the volume on the TV. What happened to Isabel? I ask, and my mom sighs, her expression turning sad. Ever since she woke up, she's been different. She's been distancing herself from us, never smiling. The first week with her back was the worst. She wouldn't even talk to anyone, my dad says, pulling my mom into his arms. We tried taking her to a therapist, but Isabel wouldn't talk to them, so we stopped the sessions. It was clear she wasn't going to speak, my mom continues, her voice breaking as she speaks. I'll try making her talk, but right now I'm really tired, I say, heading to my room. I lay down, thinking only about one thing, a gray-eyed demon. Stupid Mark. I wake up to the sun creeping through my room, chirping happily. Well, that's a lie. I wake up to my mom's voice yelling for me to wake up or I'll be late for work. I remove my nightgown and grab the shower head. I put on an oversized sweater and blue jeans, my usual outfit for work. Good morning, I say as I eat the pancakes my mom made. I wish I had her cooking skills. Morning, my parents mumble. Isabel's seat is empty, and I sigh. I miss my sister. Okay, bye, I wave. Later, the bell rings at the cafe, and I go to take the orders, only to stop in my tracks when I see Zanthis sitting in a chair with a small smile on his face. My Mark burns happily at the sight of him. Even I'm tempted to smile, but I keep a neutral expression. Hello, what do you want today? I ask, thinking to myself, just act like you don't know him, Aurora. Aurora, sit, he says, and I roll my eyes. I'm working. What are you even doing here? I ask, putting my hands on my hips. Well, my guards told me you don't want their presence, and I miss my mate, so I decided to visit her because she thinks she can survive without me, he says. I ball my hands into fists. He thinks I can't survive without him. How dare he? I think angrily to myself. I sit down and look at him with irritation written all over my face. It's only been 2 days, you can't possibly miss me. Oh, and I can and I will survive without you. I say, adding a bit of sass. Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night, Aurora, he says as he points to my mark. And I honestly miss you, he adds. I roll my eyes. I'm not coming back, I say. I see anger flash in his eyes but his face doesn't give anything away. You know I left for a reason, I continue. Let me prove to you that I deserve your forgiveness, he starts, and I raise an eyebrow. Go on a date with me, he demands. I stand up. I'll give you my answer when you ask me properly, I say, then walk away from him. Later, I'm gossiping with Jade, a girl who works with me as a waitress, when someone approaches us. Good afternoon, he bows. I roll my eyes, demons need to stop doing that. This is for you, he says as he places blue roses, a teddy bear, and chocolates on the table. Then, he hands me a small note. Aurora, would you do me the honor of going on a date with me? See? I asked. Get ready by 7 p.m. Zoxo, Xanthus. I roll my eyes but can't help smiling. Fine, tell him I said I'll go but only because I pity him, I quickly add. He nods and goes to meet Xanthus outside. Jade wiggles her eyebrows at me, and I lightly push her. I wear a black dress that hugs my curves in the right places, a black jacket, and white sneakers. I'm going out. I call to my parents. Bye, sweetie, come home before 11 p.m., I complete for my dad, and close the door to find Xanthus waiting for me, wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans. You look different, I say as he links his arm with mine. Yeah, it's the Earth atmosphere, he replies. You're pretty, he says, and I smile. By the way, the chocolates and teddy bear were so cheesy, I tell him. He raises an eyebrow. Got you to come on a date with me, didn't it? He smirks. It's a pity date, I grin. He holds me as he teleports us to a spot in the middle of trees. Are you lost? I ask. He shakes his head, and we climb up a hill. Okay, you never told me we're going on a hike, I complain. We're here, he says, and I see a blanket laid out on the ground with food. We can see the whole city from here, I say. I sit down on the blanket, and he sits next to me, the basket placed in the middle. Well, that's the point, he smirks before nervously rubbing his head. Do you like it? Yes. I've never been on a date like this, I smile. How did you know blue roses are my favorite? I ask. I watched you for 18 years, he shrugs. Yeah, you were a creep, I tease, and he frowns while I hide my smile. You brought cinnamon rolls, I say happily. No matter how much I eat them, I never get tired of cinnamon rolls. Zanthis. I start, and he faces me. Did you kill my sister intentionally? I ask carefully. What? No, I knew she fell down the stairs, so I had a witch treating her. Is she dead? He asks. No, I mean yes, she died, but Logan connected her to another mystical creature, I explain. She wasn't supposed to die, hell, she never did, I say, feeling confused. I had a witch healing her slowly, he says. Oh, I say, realizing the situation. Let's not talk about that. You know everything about me, yet I don't know anything about you, I say. Ask me anything. Do you have a middle name? Onyx, he answers with a smile. Really? Your name is Xanthus Onyx Asmodeus? I laugh a little. No, it's Xanthus Onyx. Asmodeus was a name I earned during a war, he explains. How old are you? I ask. 5 centuries old, he says. You are so old. I laugh. In human age, I'm 25, he replies. Still old, I tease, rolling my eyes. My gaze flickers to his pink lips, and I shake my head. Are you okay? He asks, worried, moving closer to me. Why yes, I answer. What was your relationship with Logan like? He asks. Why would you want to know that? I frown. Maybe it would reduce the chances of his death, he shrugs. He left me, I say flatly. It doesn't even bother me anymore, it's like I don't care that he left. He's always been a jerk, I add. Without thinking, I move closer to him and press my lips to his. He doesn't react immediately. I try to pull back, but he holds me in place and kisses me back. I straddle him and kiss him harder. His lips move fast, and I try to keep up. He places his hands on my waist and pulls me closer to him. My chest presses against his hard chest. I didn't even realize when he teleported us to my room. Now, I'm lying on my bed with him on top of me, kissing me harder. The mark on my neck burns with excitement. It becomes hard to breathe, and he pulls away, kissing my mark, causing a gasp to escape from my lips. I've never loved a kiss this much. Zanthis, I think we should stop, I say, my voice shaky. He stares at me with dark eyes before he nods. Yeah, sorry, he says. I shake my head. No, don't worry about it, I say after I catch my breath. And once again, I'll say, stupid Mark. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 26. After getting a glass of water from the kitchen, I walk back to my room but stop when I hear soft cries coming from my sister's room. I knock on the door, but there's no answer. Instead, the cries grow louder. Isabel? Izzy. I twist the door handle to find my sister tossing and turning on the bed, tears streaming down her face. I rush to her and lift her into my arms. Isabel, I shake her gently to wake her up. She opens her eyes and looks at me with an empty stare before she starts crying even harder. What's wrong? I ask, pulling her closer as she shakes, tears dripping down her face. It's dark, quiet, lonely, she sobs louder. I don't understand. I hold her even tighter. It was cold, dark, lonely, quiet, that's what death feels like. I couldn't even see my shadow. It was pure silence. The only thing I could hear in that dark, cold, lonely place was my cries for help, she says in fear. I almost burst into tears hearing her words. I never knew she felt that way. It was so dark, she hides her face in the crook of my neck. Isabel, I rub her back gently, I'm scared, Aurora. I'm scared the darkness will come back. I'm scared I'll be left alone again. Hey, there's nothing to be afraid of, Izzy. No one is going to leave you alone. Mom, Dad, Ernest, and I are here for you, Isabel. Don't let your fears control you. Don't let them stop you from having fun or being yourself. Look, I'm not a therapist and I don't have the best advice, but here's what I'd say, face your fears and tell them to get lost. What does it mean to tell them to get lost? She asks. Oh no, why did I say that? I mentally facepalm myself and try to cover it up. It means you tell your fears to go away because they don't control you anymore. She nods slowly. Yes, I won't be afraid anymore, but can you stay with me until I fall asleep? I nod and kiss her on the head, laying her down gently. After she falls asleep, I quietly leave her room and head back to mine, where I find Zanthis staring at the sky. What are you doing here? I ask, frowning. How is she? He asks, ignoring my question completely. Not good, I say, sitting down at the foot of my bed. I'm so sorry, he says, looking down. If I had been more careful, she wouldn't have fallen down the stairs, and Logan wouldn't have used some twisted way to wake her up. He runs a hand through his hair in frustration. Yeah, she probably needs a therapist. Also, what do you mean by Logan used a twisted way to wake her up? I ask, confused. That red strand of hair, she's tied to another creature. It's not normal, he explains. She won't ever be able to die, he adds, and my eyes widen in shock. What? I gasp. I'm not sure, though. I don't know what creature she's tied to, he rubs his chin thoughtfully. I lay down on the bed and stare at the ceiling, letting out a heavy sigh. He lies down beside me. I never did apologize for marking you without your permission, he says after a while. That's true, I reply. I'm sorry I marked you without asking first. You know, something tells me you're only sorry about how you marked me, not that you marked me at all. I narrow my eyes at him. That's because I don't regret marking you, he shrugs. I roll my eyes and turn to face the other side of the bed. Why aren't you in Daffian anyway? I ask. My mate is on Earth, he answers simply. What about the rogue attacks? I ask, turning to look at him. They've slowed down, he replies. I nod, giving him my full attention. His eyes travel to my lips. You know, that was our first kiss, I say. You kissed me when your drink was spiked, I laugh quietly. Did you kiss me back? I ask. He shakes his head. That would have been an insult to a girl. It would only be if she had feelings for the guy, I reply, silenced by his words. I need to sleep. Isabel's birthday is coming up, and I need to plan it tomorrow. I hug my pillow tightly. The next day, I walk into the living room to find Ernest laughing at something Isabel said. She gives him a small smile. Hi, Isabel jumps, while Ernest flashes me a big grin. Where are Mom and Dad? I ask, looking around. Ernest silently mouths, birthday shopping. I laugh, knowing Isabel sees him. Did you eat breakfast? I ask them. They both nod. You ate breakfast? I cross my arms at Isabel. You're welcome to smell my mouth. She opens her mouth, no, she grins in victory. I'll see you guys later, they wave as I head off to work. Good morning, I greet my boss when I arrive. Aurora, he waves back, and I move to hang my bag. I startle when I feel a hand on my shoulder. Are you okay? You've been acting jumpy since you got back to town. I quickly remove his hand from my shoulder. My Mark and I don't like his touch, although my Mark seems to dislike it even more than I do and punishes me by burning. I'm fine, Troy, I mumble. He spins me around so I'm facing him and traps me in his arms. I'm really uncomfortable, I say. I'm thankful there's enough space between us because I'm not sure I could bear the pain from the burning itch on my skin caused by the mark. No, look at me, Aurora. Tell me what's wrong, he says as he places his left hand on my cheek. My Mark burns angrily. Troy, back off. I shout. Jack is out of the cafe, and we don't have any customers, so it's just Troy and me. I care about you, Aurora, he says. Move back, asshat. I push against him, but he doesn't move. Instead, he pulls me closer and kisses the area near my mark, which causes it to burn painfully. He jumps back, touching his lips, looking pained. What the hell? I quickly grab my bag and leave the cafe, ignoring his calls. When I finally get home, I see Mom sitting on the floor, talking and watching a game on TV. Hey, sweetie, my dad greets me. I sit beside him, sighing. Who was in your room last night? He asks. I can't even get a break at home. I give him a look of innocence. No one, I say, but it sounds more like a question than a statement. Was it Asmodeus? I almost cringe at the name. And no, I mean yes, I say. I'm not going to press you on it, but if he's making you do anything, you need to tell me, okay? I never got to give you this dagger. It's laced with demon poison. He hands me a box, and I take it, smiling. Thank you. Okay. Isabel's birthday is coming up in 2 days. Aurora, you're on cake and presents duty. I'll handle the guest list, my mom says, clapping her hands. Okay, my dad says, smiling happily because he isn't assigned any tasks. Rick, you're... Hold on, woman, we had an agreement, she says, rolling her eyes. Fine. I look at them confused. Don't worry about it, Aurora, Mom says. By 3 p.m., the party is in full swing. Isabel is greeting people with a fake smile as they wish her a happy birthday. Honestly, she looks bored, which is unusual for her. She loves her birthday as much as I love mine. Seeing her like this on her special day just breaks my heart. I grab a bottle of Sprite, but I stop when I hear my aunt whispering gossip to one of her friends. The first daughter disappears mysteriously, then comes back to town. The second daughter goes into a coma and wakes up looking dead, and the third child isn't even theirs. God. What a messed up family. I'm scared to eat here in case they added some voodoo stuff into the food. After all, Kate was once friends with a demon. I turn around and give her a fake innocent smile. The first daughter fell in love with her stepdad and got pregnant with his kid. The second daughter got pregnant by her already married lecturer. I say, smiling sweetly. Oh my God. What a sad, miserable woman you are. Her face twists in anger. Aunt Kate loves to judge people but forgets her own family has issues, just like everyone else. It's probably why her 2 husbands, and now a third one, left her. Are you talking to me? She says, glaring. Do you even feel the slightest bit guilty about gossiping? I ask. Before you judge others, take a good look at yourself first. She picks up her bag, scowling. I can't stay where I'm being insulted, she huffs, almost shoving my mom on her way out. Why was she looking? Oh, she had an emergency, I lie quickly. I look around the crowded living room, searching for those familiar gray eyes. He promised to come to Isabel's birthday. I sigh when I don't see him. On my way to the bathroom, I suddenly feel myself being slammed into a wall. Then a pair of soft lips crash onto mine. Since my mark doesn't burn angrily, I guess it's the pair of gray eyes I've been looking for. Without realizing it, I kiss him back. I've been dying to try that since last night, he says, staring into my eyes. Well, you didn't have to slam me into the wall, I roll my eyes. He grins, then presses his lips to mine again, kissing me slower and this time more passionately. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 27. Come back home, he whispers softly against my lips, and those words are enough to bring me back to reality. What did you just say? I ask calmly, though I can feel my anger building up inside, and I'm pretty sure he can see how tightly I'm clenching my fists. We've probably been here for 10 or 15 minutes, though I have no idea. I guess time flies when you're kissing a demon. Come back to Daffian, he says. No, I answer firmly, my voice final. With the tone I use, he stares at me with fury in his eyes. What do you mean to know? Exactly what no means, I cross my arms, I've been patient with you for a long. Please don't tell me you took me on a date just to soften me up, he interrupts. I hold up my palm. What? No, I took you on a date because I wanted to, I sigh with relief. I don't think I could have held in my anger if he'd told me he only took me out to get me to return to Daffian. I'm not going back to Daffian anytime soon, I add. He throws his arms up in frustration. What else do you want me to do? You know what? You'll come crawling back to me. You can't stay away from me for long. Watch me. I shout and storm off, muttering angrily to myself. I thought he was changing, but I still hear him shouting some nonsense. I don't stop to listen. Instead, I slam the door to my room, loud enough for him to hear. I gasp when I step inside to find Logan standing there, furious. Did you sleep with him? He yells. Ugh, can't I just get some peace from the people of Daffian? Why do they always want to fight with me? Answer me, Aurora. He's never yelled at me before. I flinch at the tone and ask, confused, what? Did you sleep with Xanthus? What I do is none of your business, Logan. He grabs my throat and forces me backward. Answer the damn question. I'm really mad now, so don't test me. Not only is he choking me, but my mark also starts burning. What did I do to deserve this? No, Logan, let me go. I push him away, and he steps back, realizing only now that he was choking me. Oh, my, Aurora, I'm so sorry. I wasn't, what have I done? He grips his hair in frustration. You said you didn't do anything with him, but why do you smell like him? He came back last night, and all I could smell was your scent on him, he says. I blush as I remember, we might have done other personal things. His eyes darken as he stares at me, before he breaks down in tears. Logan. I don't understand why he's crying. He won again. Now he's speaking in riddles. I don't understand. I sit down beside him on my bed. My father always compares me to him, and I try so hard to meet his expectations, but it feels like it doesn't matter what I do. To him, Zanthis is the son he's always wanted. I gave up trying to make him happy. I stopped competing with Zanthis, that's why I was on Earth when I met you. My father called me home to marry a princess, but I didn't want that, so I went home to tell him that it would take time. The only good thing in my life was you, and you're the reason I'm happy, but now my cousin has you. He just couldn't let me be happy. Logan, I hug him. You hate me. The only person who ever made me happy hates me, he says, voice cracking. I don't hate you. I care about you more than you know. I pat his back. I was mad that you left me, but I can't stay mad at you forever. He looks at me. Really? Can I kiss you? He asks, his eyes full of hope. I sigh and wipe his tears away. I can't kiss you, Logan. First, I'm with Xanthus, and my mark wouldn't let me even if I wanted to, I explain as his face falls. Can I at least sleep here with you? I promise I won't bother you anymore after this. Please, just let me hold you one last time, he pleads. I nod. Let me just change into something else, I say. After changing in the bathroom, I return to my room to find Logan sitting on my bed, legs crossed, squeezing my pillow to death. You're going to murder my pillow if you keep squeezing it like that, I tease. He lets go of the pillow with a small laugh, and I slip into bed. Logan pulls me close. My mark burns, but I take the herbs to ease the pain on my neck. Aurora, Logan says after a few minutes of silence. I want you to know that I will always love you. I stay quiet because I know I don't feel the same way anymore. My heart belongs to someone else, even if he made me mad today. With those thoughts swirling around in my head, I fall asleep. The next morning, I wake up to find Logan's side of the bed cold and empty. A yawn escapes my lips as I remember everything that happened yesterday, so much drama. I take a bath and head to the kitchen to make toast, the only thing I can do without hurting myself. I notice a sticky note on the table. I pick it up and read it. Went to the store, be back later. Mom. Great. I'm home alone, which means I can watch grown-up movies without worrying about my parents walking in. As I settle on the couch, I hear the doorbell ring. Why? I shout to no one in particular. I open the door to find Zanthis standing there with a blue rose. I cross my arms and stare at him, raising an eyebrow. I'm sorry about what I said yesterday, he says. My heart softens, but my face doesn't change. I just want you to come back. Everyone misses you, and so do I, he adds. I guess staying here isn't really smart since I have responsibilities in Daffian. I let him in and turn on the TV, adult movies for me today, yay. I have some conditions that need to be met if I am to come back, I say. His face lights up. Go on, he replies. I sigh. I should be able to visit my parents and friends whenever I want. And, I don't want guards following me everywhere. I finish with a smile. Yes to the first condition, but no to the second, he says. I give him a stern look. Then I'm not coming back. He sighs in frustration. Fine. I agree. I clap happily, I guess I'm going back to Daffian. I couldn't even stay on Earth for a month. I'm waiting for my parents, I add. He nods and gets comfortable in his seat. An hour later, my parents come back from the store. Aurora and Asmodeus? What are you doing here? My dad asks, and I flinch at his tone. Xanthus shrugs. I'm waiting for my maid to tell you she's coming back with me, he says. I see the shock on my parents' faces. Jerk. I didn't want him to tell them. I was going to tell them in my own way. Is this true? My mom asks. Isabel looks teary, and Ernest hugs me tightly. Mom. I say softly, and she nods, hugging me. That's it? That's all you have to say? My dad asks. He seems to expect my mom to make a big fuss. Rick, she has responsibilities. She's a queen, my mom says. Almost a queen, I interrupt, and she glares at me while Xanthus sighs. I promise to visit every 3 months, I tell Isabel. Okay, I decided to give therapy a try, she says, and I hug my siblings, then my parents. Tell Holly I'll visit her in 3 months, I say as Xanthus opens a portal. I close my eyes, and when I open them again, I see that we're not in front of the castle. Instead, we're in front of a wooden house. Did you forget the portal to the castle? I ask, staring at the beautiful wooden house. No, living in the castle seems a little too dramatic, he replies. You think? I ask sarcastically, and he rolls his eyes. So, I built this. You really built it? I ask, amazed. It looks like a 2-story house, but it's made entirely out of wood. Yeah, he answers proudly. I kiss him on the cheek. It's beautiful. A hint of pink appears on his cheeks. Are you blushing? I tease, and laugh as he glares at me. Shut up, he says, picking me up and pressing his lips to mine. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 28. I wake up with a big yawn and see that Xanthus is still asleep. Ever since I got back, we've been sharing a bed. Xanthus put 2 televisions in the house, promising he'd watch some bad movies with me, and every day for the past week, he's done little things that make my heart flutter and make me fall even deeper for him. Good morning, he says with that sexy, sleepy voice. Morning, I reply, smiling. Come on, time for breakfast, he says after coming out of the bathroom. I'm having cinnamon rolls, he adds with a relieved smile. For the past 3 days, we've had cinnamon rolls every morning. Xanthus eats them just to make me happy, but I know he's getting tired of having them all the time. Thank goodness, he sighs. I give him a playful glare. I mean, I love cinnamon rolls, he says, trying to sound excited. I'll make something, you need a shower, he continues. I just shrug and head to the bathroom. I walk into the kitchen and sit on the island, watching Xanthus cook. How can I help? I ask, swinging my legs. He looks at me. I don't need help. I cross my arms and pout. He tries to kiss me, but I turn my face away. You make it seem like I'm useless in the kitchen, I say. You're not completely useless, I just get scared when you're in the kitchen. Last week you almost cut your fingers, and on Tuesday, I cut him off by rolling my eyes. Knives don't like me, I say. And I believe you, he says. You could set the table. Oh wait, there are knives on the table, only put the cups and plates. Wait, broken glasses also cut people. I ignore him and pick up a glass cup, but it slips from my hands. I ignore the look he gives me and step around the broken glass on the floor. No. Just sit and wait for breakfast, he says. I sit down, glaring at the floor. He sets our plates and cleans up the mess I made. Thanks, but I'll wash the plates, I say. There's a dishwasher, it shouldn't be dangerous, he points out. I eat my food in silence. Please let me come with you. I haven't been outside in 2 days. I plead, putting my hands together and sticking out my lip. I'm having a meeting with the warriors, he answers. Oh yeah, why have they been training for the last few days? I ask, curious. Don't worry about it, he says, but I know I'm going to find out later. Let me hang out with Karina, I suggest. Josian and her family left before I returned to Daffian, so Karina is the only other girl I can talk to. Okay, I guess nothing could possibly go wrong, he agrees. Karina runs to me with excitement and hugs me. Don't let her out of your sight, Zanthis says, kissing my hair. Karina waves at him and nods. Come on, she pulls me into her home. The living room is simple, but still looks fancy. There are no pictures of her or recall on the walls, just 4 couches, a table, and a big fireplace. This would have been our baby's room, she says. I look at her in shock. I didn't know she was pregnant. Yeah, the baby died during the 3rd month. You know demons carry babies for 5 months, she says. That's strange. I'm not even going to ask why. I didn't know you were pregnant, I say. It's been 2 years, she sighs sadly. I wonder how Horik dealt with the pain. Let's go to the castle, I suggest. I really want to know what the meeting is about. You're right. There's a movie room there, she agrees. I need to take a tour around the castle, who knows when I'll be back here, I say as Karina picks a movie. She nods and waves. I spot Logan, but he just smiles at me and walks away. Ever since everything happened, that's all he does when he sees me, smile or wave. No conversation. A big man enters a room, and I follow him, knowing he's a warrior. I stay outside the door and press my ear against it. Arnold reported that many rogues were freed about a week ago. The bad part is that these rogues are lost. They don't have humanity, meaning someone freed them to use as weapons. Suddenly, the universe decides to make me trip, and a vase falls, shattering on the floor. Everything goes silent. I quietly try to walk away, but Xanthus's voice stops me. Aurora? Then 2 guards grab my arms. Ouch! I cry out in pain. Xanthus quickly speeds over to them and pulls me away from their grip. That's not how you treat a lady, he yells. I vote we put her in the dungeon since she was caught spying on us, one man suggests. I only spied because my lovely mate wouldn't tell me anything, I say, looking at everyone. They look surprised. Lord Asmodeus mate, one man bows, and the others follow. This is really awkward for me. What were you talking about when you said the rogues were freed? I ask. You don't have to worry your pretty head about it. Let the men handle it, one man says, but I give him a glare that makes him stop talking. Rogues were freed. We think the ones who've been sending rogues to attack us are the ones who freed them, another man says before the ground starts shaking. I stumble, but Zanthis catches me. Rogues, a man shouts. Xanthus sighs and looks at me seriously. Listen to me, you're going with the other women who are not allowed to fight. What? No way. I'm a hunter, so I should be allowed to fight. I cross my arms. I don't have time for this. William, take her and do not let her out of your sight. Pregnant women, children, and teenagers, go to the safe house and don't leave until one of us comes to get you. Make sure you pack what you need, Xanthus orders. The ground shakes again, and Xanthus holds me before handing me to a man who I guess is William. Don't let her out of your sight, Xanthus tells him. William pulls me along with him. Aren't you going to fight with the others? I ask. No, I'm busy babysitting the queen, he says dryly. Sit with the others, he tells me as we enter a room, and everything goes quiet. Meet the queen, the man shouts. Some women smile at me, but others glare at me. She's human, one woman says. Hunter, I correct her, giving her a glare. A woman chuckles. That's Anne. She doesn't like humans, William says. Obviously, I smile. I'm Aurora, I introduce myself. Cora, she replies. I walk to the bathroom but almost scream when I see Logan. What the hell are you doing here? I whisper. I'm sorry, he says. 4WH, he pulls me into a portal, and when I open my eyes, I feel cold, and blankets of snow cover the ground. My guess is that we're not in Daffian anymore. Logan, where are we? I ask calmly. The North Pole, he answers. Oh no. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 29. The North Pole? I look around and shiver as a cold gust hits me, my boots sinking deeper into the snow. From the looks of it, we're standing on top of a mountain. Logan. Why the heck did you bring me here? I hug myself tighter to try to stay warm. We can start a life here together, he says, wrapping his arms around me to keep me warm. I push him away, which might have been a dumb idea, but I don't care. What do you mean by start a life here? I almost scream, but I'm afraid that if I yell too loud, snow will fall on my head. I love you, Aurora. I can't just let you go, he says, pleading. I want to cry from frustration. I'm so tired of hearing about his love. I'm with Zanthis. I don't love you anymore. I yell. I love you, and I know deep down, you still love me, he says, holding my face in his warm hands. You don't love me, you're obsessed with me, I say, pulling away from his grip. How can you say that? Tears well up in his eyes. That's the truth, you just see me as something your cousin shouldn't have. I'm not even sure if what I said makes sense. I think snow is getting into my head, and I'm worried my brain might freeze. No, I truly love you, Aurora. We can start a new life here. No one will find us, we can have kids, and... Logan, I don't love you. I say firmly, my heart aching as he looks at me with painful eyes. You do, he says, struggling to hold back sobs. If you truly love me like you say, then you'll let me go and be happy, I say, staring into his eyes. He nods, a single tear rolling down his cheek. Don't cry, I whisper. You'll find someone who loves you more than I ever did, and you'll love her more than you ever loved me. You're wonderful, and anyone would be lucky to have you by their side. He nods, then hugs me, his tears still falling. I squeeze him tightly, mostly because I'm freezing cold. He opens a portal and pulls us through. Chaos. That's the only word that can describe the once beautiful town of Daffian. Demons are flying around, breathing fire. Some demons are black and sticky looking, and anything they touch bursts into flames, but then they themselves go up in flames as well. Man, Lilith wasn't joking when she said she was going to destroy everyone, Logan says. I look at him, confused. What do you mean, Lilith? I ask, crossing my arms. Lilith organized the attack, he explains, pulling me away from a demon that tried to burn me. What? I scream. Only a few people know about it, he says, still holding on to me. You knew she was going to attack everyone, and you didn't try to stop her? I ask, my voice rising with anger. He shakes his head. I don't care about anyone but you, and I tried to save you. The dreams, the herbs, they were to make you leave Xanthus, or for Xanthus to leave you. I gave Lilith the information about our relationship, he confesses. I slap him hard across the face, though not loud enough for it to make him turn to the other side. I deserve that, he says, his face stinging, but I had no idea you didn't feel anything for me anymore. She fed on my vulnerability. A demon runs toward us, and I pull out the dagger my dad gave me. I move it around, since that's what it's for, a portable dagger. I stab the demon, and it disintegrates into nothing. That's what I've been doing to demons that try to attack me. After 30 minutes, I'm bloody, sweaty, and I think I've got some venom in my system. Logan was separated from me when demons started charging at us, and I haven't seen him since. Maybe he ran off, but at this point, I don't care, not after what he just admitted. Aurora? I hear that familiar voice call, but there's anger in it. Hey Suga, I smile, feeling a bit playful. What, did you just call me Suga? He asks, sounding confused. I don't know, first I was in the North Pole, now demons are biting me, so I'm not sure anymore, I explain, laughing slightly. He looks at me strangely, but then his expression shifts to anger. Why aren't you with the other women? He yells at me. I throw my dagger at a demon that tried to attack Zanthis. It hits the demon in the chest, and just like the others, it disintegrates. Lilith organized the attack. I yell over the noise of the fighting. Ashes cover the ground, and there are burnt homes and shops everywhere. Really? That explains why she disappeared for the past month. But why? Xanthus asks as he destroys another demon. I watch in awe as he takes them down without even needing to transform. I don't know. These demons won't stop until they're dead. They must have been ordered to fight to the death, I say as I stab another demon. You need to go back, he says, looking at me seriously. You want me to go back by myself? Or would you rather I stay here, where you can see me? I ask, raising an eyebrow. He groans in frustration. I smile, realizing I've won. Don't leave my sight, and I'm serious. I clap my hands, trying to keep my focus. A demon slashes Xanthus back with its claws. I stab the demon and hold Xanthus tightly. Are you okay? I'm fantastic, he answers sarcastically. Good to know. Why isn't it healing? I panic when I see the wound isn't closing like the others. Venom, he groans. I look around and realize that all the demons are dead except one, Lilith. She smirks at us before I hear Xanthus roar as Hoaric drives a dagger through his back. Xanthus drops to the ground with a thud, and I quickly throw my dagger at Hoaric, but he dodges it. While he's distracted, Doran grabs him and snaps his neck. I watch as Lilith struggles against the guards who hold her, and they snap her neck as well. I run to Xanthus and pull the dagger out of his back. He doesn't move. I don't even know if he's breathing. 3 men rush to my side and pick Xanthus up, and I notice 2 others carrying Logan's limp body. Maybe he passed out. I follow them and stop outside Xanthus' hospital room. I've been pacing for the past hour, swaying and feeling dizzy, but I don't sit down because I'm worried. I overheard a nurse saying his wounds aren't healing. Aurora, you need to get checked, Doran says, but I ignore him and wipe away my tears. No, I'm not leaving here until I know he's okay. I shout. You're going to make it worse if you don't take care of yourself, he says calmly. How? I almost scream. The mate bond will affect him more if you're not in good shape, he explains. I panic and follow him, where I'm checked over. My injuries are cleaned and patched up after I take a bath. I return to his room and ask, is he dead? I only snapped his neck. He should be waking up now, Doran answers. I want to see him and ask him why, I say, determined. Doran nods and leads the way. The dungeon is dark, creepy, and dirty, with a strange sticky feeling in the air. I see Doran tied to a chair, a big rock hanging above him. Once the rope is cut, the rock will fall on him. It won't kill him, but he'll feel pain because it's laced with venom, Doran explains. I nod and move inside the room with him behind me. Why? I ask Hoaric, my voice filled with anger. Why would you help Lilith destroy your mate's only brother? I demand, feeling the weight of the betrayal. I wonder how Corina must feel. Her mate just betrayed her and her family. Lilith is my mate, not Corina, Hoaric says, shrugging casually. I'm only with her for revenge. Wait, revenge? I ask, shocked. 2 centuries ago, Xanthus banished me to Tartarus. I was finally released, and since then, I've been planning my revenge. Lilith came to me for help, and I couldn't say no to my mate, he explains. Why did she need your help? I ask. Never asked, never cared, he shrugs again. And I hope he dies. He adds before the rock falls on him, his scream of pain the last thing I hear as I leave his cell. Lilith looks worse now, with many knives pointing at her from every direction, front, back, and sides. Timer won't kill her but will hurt her. It's laced with venom, I'm told. I nod in agreement. Oh, would you look who it is, Lilith mocks, her head swaying from side to side. It looks like she can't control the way her head moves. I'm guessing you've visited my lovely mate, and he must have told you he wanted revenge. But before I give you my reasons, let me tell you about the murderer of Corina's baby. She clears her throat. I clench my fists tightly. I killed her child. I wasn't going to let her have kids from my mate, she says with a shrug. She killed an innocent baby because of jealousy? Lilith is sick. Why did you organize the attack? I demand. I wanted to be the ruler of Daffian, she answers without hesitation. I hear a slow beep, meaning the time is almost up. Their family has been royals for too long. Other families want to feel what it's like to have power, too. Okay, maybe it's just my family that wants it because royal, she's interrupted as the knives strike her. She screams in pain, and Doran quickly pulls me out of the room. When I step back into the hospital, Recall rushes to me. Aurora, I have to tell you something, Recall says urgently. I nod, my heart already sinking. Logan is dead, he says quietly. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, Why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 30. Logan is dead. The words keep echoing in my head. How? I finally speak, and it comes out as a whisper. The venom was too much for his body, Recall answers. The last thing I did to him was slap him and yell at him. Oh my God. I run my hand through my hair, feeling helpless. Can I see him? I ask Recall. He shakes his head. They won't let you. Besides, part of his body is burnt. I nod and stand outside Xanthus hospital room, waiting. He's in a coma, Doran says, and I just nod without saying a word. You know he would be angry if he knew you haven't rested after the rogue attack, Doran adds, but I ignore him. Aurora, he says sternly. Leave me alone, Doran, I sigh, feeling exhausted. You don't want Zanthis to feel your pain, right? He says. I turn to face him. Let's go, but I'm coming back here first thing in the morning, he says. I nod, agreeing. I take a shower and put on Xanthus' shirt. It's the first time I've worn it, and it feels strange, but I let myself get used to it, as it somehow brings me closer to him. I wake up to a loud knock on the door. I throw the covers off and open it, finding a tall, bulky man standing there. He bows slightly. Good morning, Your Highness, he says. Highness? I don't look anything like royalty right now. I'm wearing Xanthus t-shirt, my hair is a mess, and I probably have drool on the side of my mouth. Good morning? I say, my breath still heavy with morning sleep. Come in, I finally say, and he smiles. Let me get changed, he says. I don't wait for him to respond before I walk away. After showering and dressing in sweatpants, I head downstairs and see the man sitting in the same spot I left him. Do you want anything to drink? I ask. He shakes his head. I sit down beside him. Since Lord Asmodeus is ill, you're the only ruler left for us, he says. I cringe at the reminder that Zanthis is still in bed. I'll visit him again today. And the town was burned during the attack. We have nowhere to stay. We need time to rebuild, the man sighs. How about we call a meeting so we can discuss this, he suggests. He nods and stands up. I'll let you know when we're ready. He leaves. I walk towards Xanthus' room, standing outside. The doctor hasn't given us any updates yet. Doran, I call out. He smiles at me. Hey, the doctor says he's still asleep, Doran informs me. Great, Xanthus is still in a coma. Logan is dead. The love of my life is in a coma. Just fantastic. Don't cry, he says, hugging me. I bury my face in his neck. I'll see you later, Doran, I say, wiping my tears away and walking off. I remember I forgot to visit Corina last night. I really need to talk to her, but her house was also burned down. I enter the castle and find Corina sitting, staring blankly at the wall. I sit quietly beside her. Hey, I whisper. She blinks and nods, acknowledging me. Hoaric. I know. I also know that bitch killed my baby, and I know Hoaric is her mate. I hate my life. I guess it's a good thing, though, she says, giving a small, bitter smile. But I'm tired of the pity looks I'm getting. You know, Hoaric used to hit me, but I never said anything because he'd apologize and blame it on his beast, and I'd foolishly forgive him. Zanthis never agreed to our union, but I forced it on him, and now I'm facing the consequences of not listening to my brother. Tears roll down her face, but she squeezes her eyes shut to stop them. Corina. 100 years. We were together for a century, and he betrayed me in a minute, she lets out a forced laugh. I rub her shoulders, feeling helpless. I need to be alone, Aurora. I really don't feel like talking right now, she says. I leave with a heavy sigh, wishing there was something I could do to help. Your Highness, the same man bows to me when I step outside. He opens his mouth to speak, but I interrupt him. Please, call me Aurora, I say. Your Highness makes me cringe. All right, we're ready, he says, and I follow him into a room where I see 4 men sitting with serious expressions on their faces. It reminds me of being called into the principal's office at school. This is Lord Asmodeus' mate, Aurora, the man introduces me, and they all nod. I sit down. The town's market is ruined, one man begins. Another man glares at him. The rogue attack burned the market down, and there's no food supply. The farms are empty, the man continues, ignoring the glare. The orphanage was also destroyed, and there's nowhere for the kids to stay. No houses, I sigh, as they all wait for my response. We should wait for the crops to grow. In the meantime, we can get food from Earth. Daffian's crops grow faster, so it shouldn't take long. You can clean up the area, I suggest. The man nods. My team will get food from Earth. Thank you, he says with a smile. The castle is big enough for people to stay temporarily. You need to build the houses properly and on time, I tell the other man. Building the houses will take at least a week, he replies. Okay, I'll move people into the empty rooms, I say. Both men nod and leave. Since that's settled, I'm leaving, I wave to the man. The rest of the week passes in a blur. The houses are rebuilt, and people return to their homes. Food starts coming back to Daffian. But Zanthis still isn't awake, and I cry myself to sleep in his t-shirt. I stand outside his room. He isn't showing any improvement, I cry to Doran. I love him. I can't lose him. I love him. I've never admitted that out loud before. You do? I hear Xanthus' voice, and I turn around in shock. Nurses rush to his side. We have to check you, Lord Asmodeus, one says, but he shrugs them off without breaking eye contact with me. Do you really love me, Aurora? He asks, and I move to him, worried as he staggers. You need to lay down, Zanthis, I say, trying to help. No, I'm not leaving until you give me an answer, he insists. Of course I love you, idiot. I cry, hugging him. He finally lets them take him into his room to check on him. All you need is enough rest, and you'll be back to your usual self, the doctor says cheerfully before leaving the room. There's an awkward silence as I stare at the plain blue walls. Aurora, Xanthus starts, trying to sit up. You don't have to get up, I move closer to him, and he nods. I love you, he blurts out, and I stare at him, shocked. A blush spreads across my face. You don't have to say it back just because I said it, I tell him. I'm not saying it just because you said it. I'm saying it because it's what I feel. I love you, I really do. Then, he kisses me. I kiss him back, his tongue tracing my lower lip, and I open my mouth slowly. So, what did I miss? He asks. Logan's dead, I whisper sadly. Funeral? He asks. I shake my head. They couldn't do it because you were still, you know. Oh, and Horik and Lilith are mates, I say, and Xanthus looks shocked before his expression turns to anger. And my sister? I haven't seen her in a while. She said she needed space, I reply. Xanthus is released from the hospital 3 days later. We have Logan's funeral after he's released. It's been a month, and everything is going smoothly. I'm getting ready for my coronation as queen. Xanthus and I completed the mate bond last week. My hair is tied up in tight buns, and I'm wearing a baby pink dress that shows the mark on my neck clearly, with no shoes. I have light makeup on and tiny earrings, plus the amulet Xanthus gave me. I wait for Xanthus to call me out. My mate, Aurora, he announces, and I step out to see the whole town of Daffian staring at me. This is Aurora, my mate. And your queen. Xanthus says proudly. Queen Aurora, they all say, and I give them a shy smile. Chapter 31. I smile softly as I watch everyone open their presents. They decided to celebrate Christmas in Daffian, and my parents, along with everyone else, are here, well, except Karina. We haven't seen her for the last 2 years. Every year she sends a letter saying only, "I'm alive, don't worry about me." Xanthus tries not to worry about her, but I can see that it's hard for him. The one time he tried to find her, she yelled at him to leave her alone. She keeps saying she's having fun with her new human boyfriend, and my guess is that she's using humans to distract herself from everything else. I'm not judging her. That day Xanthus came home hurt that his own sister wanted nothing to do with him. I tried to cheer him up, and after 48 hours, he was doing a little better. For the past 2 years, I've visited my parents every 6 months, once in the middle of the year and again at the start, just to keep the promise I made to Isabel. Ooh, open mine, Jojen says to Xanthus. He rolls his eyes, but after many pleads, he agrees to celebrate Christmas with a lot of turkey to eat. And I'm pretty sure the gift I got for him will be the best one. Xanthus opens the box, and a puppy barks at him. Xanthus stares blankly at Jojen, who keeps smiling. I don't like pets, Xanthus tells her. I chuckle as I sip my water and pick up the puppy. Thank you, I say softly to Jojen, who beams with happiness. Everyone was deeply affected when they found out Logan died. I wasn't allowed to speak at his funeral because I wasn't considered part of his family, but I sneaked in later to speak, with only Jojen knowing. Over the years, Jojen and I became close enough that we'd go on trips without telling either of our mates, which would later lead to both of them scolding us. Open mine last, I whisper to Xanthus, who nods and smiles brightly. I've received many gifts, some magical, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. After all the presents have been opened, Xanthus picks up my box. I'm really anxious to see his reaction, so I take a long sip of my water and sit still as he carefully unwraps it. Everyone, except Doran and Recall, is waiting for his reaction. He opens the box, and his expression changes to confusion when he pulls out a blue onesie with "Daddy" written in bold letters. His face shifts from confusion to realization, and then it morphs into anger. "You're pregnant," he yells. I jump back slightly, shocked by the harshness in his voice. "Why yes," I say slowly, my voice shaky. I hear Doran mutter, "Oh, shit," quietly. Xanthus stands up, his eyes glowing with anger, tinged with fear. "What do you mean you're pregnant?" he yells, his voice filled with both anger and fear. "I have a baby growing inside me," I answer quietly. The room falls into a silence so thick you could hear a pin drop. He growls and storms out of the room. I sit down slowly, feeling tears sting my eyes. Jojen comes to my side and rubs my shoulders, and I blink the tears away. He's angry at me, I cry. I remember the day we found out I was pregnant. Flashback. Jojen walks into the room and laughs when she sees me. "Wow, you look horrible," she says, laughing even harder. "Gee, thanks. I love hearing that," I roll my eyes. She frowns and touches my arm. "What's wrong?" "I don't know. Everything hurts. Sometimes I feel sick, sometimes I'm dizzy, and I start crying." She laughs again. "You sound like me when I was preg." She stops herself, looking at me carefully. "When was the last time you had your period?" I throw a pillow at her. "You sound like my mom," I groan. She shrugs. I think about it and realize that I haven't had my period in over a month. I thought it was just Daffian messing with my cycle. Could I really be pregnant? But I'm only 20. "You're pregnant," she exclaims, then screams with excitement. "This is so great. We have to tell Zanthis. We need to do so many things." "Hold on, we aren't even sure," I say, sitting up. "Lily's a witch. We can ask her to check," Jojen suggests, dragging me to Lily's room. "What do you want?" Lily asks with half-open eyes. "We need to find out if Aurora is pregnant," Jojen says, excitement in her voice. Lily opens her eyes, pulls us into her room, and lays me on her bed. She chants a spell, then smiles. "You're pregnant," she announces. Well, this is interesting. Flashback ends. I'll go to him, Doran says, pulling Recall along with him. My mom stands up and hugs me. We have to go. But I'll call you, she says. I nod, and she leaves with my dad, Isabel, and Ernest. Jojen stays with me. It's been 2 days since I told Zanthis the news. I guess he must be sleeping in the castle. Jojen has been with me this whole time, and I told her to go home because I'll be fine alone. She left reluctantly. I hear the front door close, and I groan. Jojen, I said I'd be F, it's not Jojen. Hi, Xanthus says, and I hug him tightly. He hugs me back, and I bury my head in his neck, inhaling his familiar scent. Then, I pull away and glare at him. Why did you get mad at me? You left me for 2 days. I cross my arms, popping out a hip. You should sit down for what I'm about to tell you, he says seriously. I sit down. I got angry because of the curse, he explains. See curse? What curse? I ask cautiously. Whoever gives birth to the first son of the royal family dies, he says, quoting the curse. I stare at him, unblinking. What? I whisper. My mom died. My grandmother died because of the curse. My father didn't take it seriously. He thought the curse didn't exist, that was until I was born, and my mom died. I stand up in a rush, anger bubbling inside me. And you didn't think to tell me? I yell. It never came up, he stands up too. It never came up. After 2 years and a few months, the thought of telling me about the curse never came up. I run my hand through my hair in frustration. What about Jojen? She's older than you. She's adopted. Karina is from another demon, he explains, and everything feels so messed up. That's why you got mad? I ask, shocked. He nods, and I sit down again. Who cursed you? I ask quietly. He sits close to me, but I move away from him. He stares at me with hurt in his eyes, but I ignore it. Daria was a powerful witch, he starts. My grandfather used to be with her. One night, he accidentally turned her into a demon, but the process wasn't completed, leaving her as a half-demon, half-witch, the weakest creature. After my grandfather promised her many things, he left her for my grandmother, another demon princess. Daria used her last bit of power to curse my grandmother while she was pregnant. The power consumed her, and she died after cursing my grandmother. He finishes, and I sigh, feeling drained. Lily is a witch. Maybe she could break the curse, I suggest. Lily doesn't deal with black magic, he replies. We hear a knock, and Zanthis opens the door to find Lily standing there. Sorry, Doran just told me what happened, and I think I have a solution, she says, sitting down. I'm friends with Daria's descendant, Lily adds. Xanthus stares at her, shocked. Daria never had a kid. She had one before she met your grandfather. And that child had another child who had another child, and that child had another child. Hold on, I'm confused, I say, frowning. Daria had Xena. Xena had Phillida. Phillida had Cassandra, and Cassandra lives in the Phenomai, fairy world, Lily explains. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 32. After 3 months of searching and arguing with Zanthis, we finally located Cassandra. And I'm already showing because demon babies only stay in the womb for 5 months, and I'm already in my 3rd month. Zanthis has been extremely protective of me, not letting me do much, not even going into the kitchen to eat, which is pretty annoying. I wouldn't have believed the curse was real if I hadn't started feeling symptoms. I stare at the dark lines on my round belly. I gently rub my stomach like it's fragile, the dark lines that look like veins bothering me, but I don't complain to Zanthis because he doesn't know. He's already worried about the curse, and I don't want him to get even more anxious by seeing the lines. The only person who knows about the dark lines is Josian. She accidentally saw them and almost told Xanthus, but I made her promise not to say anything. I put on a light blue dress and black flats before I zip up my suitcase. Suddenly, a sharp pain shoots through my stomach, and I groan. I'm not surprised, though. It's not the first time it's happened. The first time, I screamed, and I think it's just part of the curse. But I'm happy we've finally found Cassandra, and like Lily said, she's in the fairies' realm. I hear a slight shake from the window and look outside. I see a shadowy figure, and the stranger knocks gently on the window. I open it, and he quickly jumps in. He's wearing a gray hoodie. Then he hugs me, which feels awkward with my belly, and I don't know him. I open my mouth to scream, but when he reveals his face, I freeze in surprise. Logan? I whisper. His hair is longer now, and he's taller with a stubbly beard. Hi, he grins cheekily. How are you alive? I saw you being buried. Well, I didn't see you, but you were buried. Is it a demon thing to come back to life? I point at him in confusion. I decided to leave. You were right, and I also realized what I was doing was foolish, so I faked my death, he explains, still smiling. Wow, where have you been? I ask, sitting on the bed and resting my elbow on my suitcase. He stares at my stomach and raises an eyebrow in surprise. You're pregnant? Wow. I missed a lot, he says. I rub my belly through the fabric. Yeah, you were dead for 2 years, so, what's been going on with you? I ask again. I found my mate, but she was dying. I watched her pass away, he says, his expression turning sad. I give him a sideways hug. Then I pissed off a dragon princess who's now chasing me because I broke her special brush. He chuckles, air quoting the word special. I hear my name being called from outside. I should go, Logan says, standing up. He begins to grab his bag. Don't tell anyone I'm alive, he says seriously. I'd rather they think I'm dead. He then jumps out the window. I roll my suitcase out behind me. Xanthus is waiting downstairs with his bag, and I give him a slight smile without looking at my steps. I trip and feel myself falling, but Xanthus quickly catches me, glaring at me in frustration. Damn it. Couldn't you be more careful? His voice is sharp, and I feel tears well up in my eyes. I am sorry, I wasn't paying attention, I say, my voice shaky. He hugs me, his tone softening. No, I'm sorry. I'm just stressed, that's all. He gently presses his lips to mine. The portal's ready. Do you have everything? He asks. I nod. He tries to roll my suitcase, but I stop him. I'm pregnant, not disabled, Xanthus. I snap. He smirks but ignores my protest. I close my eyes as we enter the portal, and when I open them again, the first thing I see are the colorful trees. The lower parts are pink and blue, and the upper parts are golden. The leaves are bright, and little creatures fly around them playfully. In the distance, a flowing blue waterfall adds to the scene. Ugh! I hate fairies' world, Xanthus groans. I giggle. It's beautiful. No, it's just colorful, and it makes me want to throw up. It looks like a little kid's nightmare, he complains. I push him lightly. No, a little kid's nightmare isn't this pretty. A guard appears behind us, rolling our bags to us. Come on, according to Lily, her cottage should be around here. Witches love being around nature, Xanthus says, leading the way. We stop when we see a small cottage. A tall brunette woman walks out, her arms crossed. I had a feeling this would happen. Guess my instincts are never wrong. What do you want, demon? She glares at Xanthus. Are you Cassandra? He asks, ignoring her question. Well, there will never be any friendly conversations with her, I guess. Who's asking? She says, her tone sharp. I'm Lord Asmodeus, and we need Cassandra's help, Xanthus says. She finally looks at me, and I can feel his glare on me. I'm Cassandra, she says. Maybe we could come in? I ask politely. Not until you tell me why you need my help, she replies, still crossing her arms. Daria's curse, Xanthus says, his voice tight. Her eyebrows raise in realization. Oh, you're the demon she cursed, she says, chuckling slightly. My great-grandfather, and then it passed down to me, he explains, glaring at her. She invites us inside and offers us biscuits and tea. I didn't come here to eat biscuits and tea, witch. Xanthus says, annoyed. I'm being a nice host, demon, she snaps back. I roll my eyes at both of them. So, Daria's curse is really affecting you, Cassandra says, sipping her tea. Daria must have been a very powerful witch. She glances at our bags, then nods. What makes you think I'd help the family that destroyed one of my ancestors? She sits up, clearly irritated. Xanthus throws his hands in frustration. This is why I told you we should just kidnap her and torture her until she agrees to help. I jump at his angry tone, but Cassandra shrugs. If you had kidnapped me, I would have put a different curse on you, one that would have consumed me, and you'd lose the only true descendant of Daria. Xanthus crosses his arms, fuming. I know you're not like Daria, I finally speak, my voice calm. And who told you that? Cassandra asks, raising an eyebrow. Lily, I reply, glancing at her. Her eyes soften. Is she still mad at me? She asks quietly. She didn't tell us about your issues, but I doubt Lily holds grudges. You're only saying that so I'll help you, Cassandra says, narrowing her eyes. Okay, I'll help. But I don't think I can break Daria's curse, but I'll try, she agrees. I smile, grateful. She shows us to our rooms, and Zanthis and I settle in. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 33. Is that Doran? I wave at the green pixel figure. He waves back with a small smile. Yep, he has a message. I have no idea why he wouldn't just use a witch to teleport here. This method is strange, Xanthus shrugs. I roll my eyes. Sometimes I feel like you're stuck in the past. I mean, you are, since you're over 500 years old, I tease. You think I'm old? He asks, looking at me. I shrug and sit down. Xanthus gives me a playful look, holding my face in his hands. I never said so, but if you feel old, who am I to stop you? He moves closer and squeezes my face, and I grin. You're very old, Xanthus, I tease, kissing him. Doran clears his throat. Please, return your attention to me. Thank you, he rolls his eyes. Xanthus finally gives Doran his attention. Okay, so Hoaric died this morning, Doran says. After 2 years, he's dead. It's strange to hear about someone who had been kept prisoner and tortured dying after all that time. What about Lilith? I ask. She said she doesn't care, but I know she does. I mean, losing a mate should hurt. I sent Karina a letter, and she replied with, fuck you and I don't care, in block letters. Xanthus sighs, and I can tell he's stressed out about Karina. Maybe I should visit her again, he suggests. No, she needs her space, and that's what she'll get. When she's ready, ow. I hold my stomach when a sharp pain hits me. Xanthus quickly places his hands on my shoulders, a worried look on his face. I'm fine. Must be the baby kicking, I guess. So, as I was saying, when she's ready, she'll come back. The two demons look at me with concern, and I roll my eyes. Seriously, I'm fine, I lie. I still feel the ache, but I refuse to speak up. Have you burned his body? Xanthus asks after a minute of staring at me with worry. What? Burn his body? I exclaim. Yes, he tried to kill a lord, so his death won't be honored, Doran answers. Oh, well, carry on, I shrug. And I hope Lilith feels the pain of her mate's body being burned, Doran mutters as the pixel disappears. Are you sure you're okay? Xanthus asks, his voice full of concern. I nod, but he places his palm on my stomach and removes it immediately. Why is your stomach burning up? Your body temperature is normal, but your stomach is hot, like extremely hot. He panics and stands up. I stand up to calm him down. It's okay, it's not the first time, I say. Not the first time? Why didn't you tell me? What else are you hiding? He asks softly. For the first time, I see fear in his eyes. I hug him tightly, feeling tears welling up in my eyes. Zanthis, I begin, but he hugs me back carefully, mindful of my stomach. What's all the noise about? Cassandra comes in, holding a big book. No. Her stomach is burning up, and it's getting hotter by the minute, Xanthus interrupts. I sigh tiredly. Cassandra drops the book and walks over to me. Does it hurt? A little, but I'll be fine. No, you won't. Stop acting like you're okay when you're not, Xanthus says, his voice full of frustration. What if she doesn't find a way to break the curse? What's going to happen then? What if I actually die? I choke up, and he growls before storming off. You shouldn't tell a demon lord his mate is going to die, you know, Cassandra says as she opens the large book with a grunt. Ancient books are heavy, I giggle. According to Daria's spellbook. Cassandra mutters, flipping through pages before she frowns. And it's not in English. I need to make a spell, she announces, and I get up to go to bed. I wake up in the middle of the night and see Xanthus lying on his face, far from me. I sigh and place a gentle kiss on his cheek. When I enter Cassandra's living room, I see she's sitting in the middle of candles of different colors, with the large book open in front of her and her eyes closed. Hey, she whispers. Are you allowed to talk with all of these around you? I ask as I sit down next to her. I need a distraction anyway. Daria was a complicated witch. Everything here is just so, she takes a deep breath. Okay, so tell me about Lily, I say. I don't think. You need a distraction, I point out, and she rolls her eyes. She was my girlfriend, Cassandra admits. I raise an eyebrow. She thought I cheated on her, and I didn't even deny it, even though I didn't. I was surprised she thought I would. The candles around her go out, and she sighs angrily. The spells require a sacrifice. You know I might not be able to break the curse, right? She says. I nod, and she continues, and if I do break the curse, you know you might have to sacrifice your Aurora? Xanthus calls from the other room. I walk to him, and when I smile at him, I can't help but feel like it doesn't matter if the curse breaks or not, because either way, I'm going to die. But I can't tell him that. I'm sorry I got angry. It's just painful to hear you say that, he says as I rest my head on his chest. He strokes my stomach slowly. I love you, I whisper, then fall asleep, hearing a faint reply. It's been 1 month since we got here, and Cassandra has been trying different spells on both living and non-living things. Some spells have been funny, while others gave us false hope. Daria must have been a very powerful witch because not even one of her descendants can seem to find a way to break the curse. Each day, I feel closer to my death, but I try not to show it. Instead, I do things to distract myself, like now, when I'm discussing names with Zanthis. A boy, Damien, Zanthis says. This is the best name he's come up with. Every other name was too hard to pronounce. A girl, Cleopatra, he continues, and I start laughing. What's wrong with Cleo? Really? No, I like the name. It's fresh and unique, he nods, smiling. I suddenly scream as pain shoots through my stomach. For the first time, it's only my stomach that feels hot. Cassandra rushes in, a concerned look on her face. I feel warm liquid trickling down my leg. Well, she's going into labor, Cassandra says calmly. What? The baby isn't supposed to come for another 4 weeks. Xanthus yells over my screams. 2 women rush into the room and start pulling me onto the bed. You can't come in. Daria is mad with your family, and if she sees you, she might make Aurora go through more pain, Cassandra pleads, and Xanthus reluctantly leaves the room. The women widen my legs and chant words as I push. After a few hours, I finally hear a small cry. The baby is out. Cassandra yells, and they clean me up. I'm too exhausted to say anything. Xanthus enters and holds the baby. I guess you broke the curse, Cassandra, he yells, his voice full of joy. I give a weak smile, but he's wrong. I grow weaker and weaker, and eventually, everything goes silent. I stare at Xanthus as he shakes my lifeless body, his face filled with desperation as tears roll down his cheeks. He begs Cassandra to do something, but she doesn't look at him. Everything fades to black as I accept that I'm dead. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 34. For years have passed since Daffian lost its queen, and the image of their king walking in with the lifeless body of their queen is forever burned in their minds, especially for those who knew her best. The first 2 years were the hardest for the witches and mages. Lord Asmodeus would call them all to find a solution for his mate, and when they couldn't, he ordered their deaths. Witches continued to practice their magic because they knew he had gone mad. Eventually, Asmodeus was advised to speak to her dead form every day to feel somewhat connected to her, and he has done so ever since. Despite the sadness that weighs heavily on Daffian, people still manage to smile when the young prince walks by. He has a way of making the market vendors laugh, even when his jokes aren't all that funny. But sometimes, there's a sadness that crosses their faces as they look at him. He looks so much like his mother. Asmodeus stopped killing witches, but only for the sake of his son, the one person he would do anything for. Logan finally told his family he was alive after hearing about Aurora's death. Aurora's body was never buried. Instead, it remained preserved in a glass coffin, and only Zanthis was allowed to visit her. The castle gates were sealed shut, and Xanthus never left the castle after returning with his dead mate. He stayed inside, giving orders to everyone. The only time the gates are ever opened is for the mate dance. Xanthus had once been tempted to ban the concept of mates in Daffian so others could feel the same pain he was enduring. He still remembers the way her lifeless eyes stared at him after the birth of their son. He blames himself for her death. He knows that if he had told her about the curse earlier, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant, and she would still be alive. But instead, he kept the secret, thinking that he could prevent her from getting pregnant. Now, he sits in the room where she lays in her coffin, talking to her as if she's still there. I haven't left the castle in 4 years. Some people even think I'm dead, he chuckles softly. I might as well be. He falls silent, waiting for some response, but there's nothing. I remember the day Damien called me Dad, he says, smiling at the memory. If you were here, I know you'd be mad that he called me Dad before he called you Mom. He says this playfully, hoping for a reaction, but gets nothing. Doran gives my orders to others, and today Damien broke a vase and tried to hide it from me. But I pretended not to see it so he would tell me the truth. And he did, he says, relaxing on the soft sofa in the room. The room only has one window that lets in a small amount of sunlight. Everything else is spotless white, with a ceiling fan and a white sofa. Aurora lies in the coffin, dressed in a white gown, her brown hair styled straight, and her eyes closed. Karina visited again, and I think something's going on between her and Recall. I know if you were here, you'd tell me to stay out of their business, but I won't. He half yells, his frustration leaking through. It hurts to look at Damien sometimes. He looks just like you. He has your soft brown hair, but my eyes, and a cute nose just like yours. He places his hands on his knees. Lilith died, well, she killed herself, and Karina set her on fire. She looked satisfied after doing that. At least, I thought she did, until I passed her room and heard her cry. I let her have her space, like you told me to. Damien's birthday was always celebrated on Earth, but this year it's going to be in Daffian. You know, demon kids grow faster than regular kids, he says, his eyes following the movement of the fan above him. I miss you, and I blame myself for what happened. He waits for a response, but there's nothing. He stands up and leaves the room, wiping his tears. Jojen watches her brother leave the room, her own sadness reflected in her eyes. She too misses her best friend, the one who did silly things sometimes and babysat her kids when she and her mate went on dates. Xanthus sits in his room with a cup of bourbon in his left hand. He swirls the drink absent-mindedly, not intending to drink it. He wonders why humans drink such a terrible beverage when they're sad, knowing it doesn't help ease the pain or provide relief. He stares blankly at the portrait of his mate, still swirling the cup. The door opens, but Xanthus doesn't move. He plans to ignore the visitor, like he has with everyone else. Come on, you can't just sit here and do nothing, Doran sighs. Xanthus keeps swirling the cup. You can't stay in here forever. We all miss her too. Xanthus tightens his grip on the glass. You don't even play with your son anymore. It's almost like he doesn't have a father, Doran adds. Xanthus throws the cup, and the glass shatters on the spotless floor. I can't bear to look at him. Every time I look at him, it's like looking at a mini Aurora. You know, I held her in my arms when she was a baby, and now she's gone. And you know whose fault it is? Mine. It's all my fault. He runs his hands through his hair in frustration. You say Damien doesn't have a father? Well, he doesn't have a mother either, and it's all my fault. If I had told her about the curse, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant. He throws a chair against the wall. She would have wanted a child anyway, Doran tries to calm him. I wouldn't have let her. I don't care if Damien has to live the rest of his life without parents. Zanthis yells. The words hurt him to say out loud, but even though he doesn't show it, he loves his son more than anything. He would move heaven and earth to find Damien's favorite toy. No, Zanthis, you don't mean that, Doran says, moving closer to him. Don't touch me. Yes, I mean it. Xanthus snaps. Aurora wouldn't like that. Aurora isn't here, and you know whose fault it is? Mine. He shouts. Zanthis. Get out, Doran. Doran shuts the door behind him, and Xanthus breaks down. He walks to her room again, the second time this week. Hello, he says as he sits on the familiar white sofa. He talks to her about his day. You know, tomorrow is Damien's 4th birthday. Xanthus sighs. It's been 4 years since I last touched you. It's been 4 years since I last heard your laugh. It's been 4 years since I last saw your smile, he says, chuckling bitterly. You know what Damien wished for on his 3rd birthday? He doesn't expect a response, but he continues anyway. He wished for his mother to come to his 4th birthday. No one had the heart to tell him you're gone. Unable to speak to her anymore, he leaves the room and goes to sleep. And then her eyes snap open. The end. Chapter 35, Epilogue. My body feels stiff as I've been staring at the glass for what seems like more than 6 hours since I first opened my eyes. I can feel the sunlight slowly slipping into the room. I wiggle my fingers and bite my lip to stop myself from groaning. My fingers feel strange, so I slowly raise my hand to the glass and push, but it doesn't move. I push harder, and the glass breaks, cutting me in the process. I stand up with shards of glass on my face and palm. I look at the blood and the open wound, watching it slowly close up as if it's healing. How strange. I stare at myself in the mirror, and my face is completely smooth, like I've never been hurt. In fact, I look taller and slimmer. My hair, which was once waist length, now reaches to my waist, and it feels softer and silkier than before. My eyelashes are longer too. I'm wearing a light white dress that stops just above my knee, and I'm not wearing any underwear. My stomach is flatter. I look over at the glass coffin, and it's broken now. Suddenly, a wave of anger washes over me. I was gone for only 4 days, and they placed me in a coffin? I can't blame them, though. After all, I'm sure my heart had stopped. Am I really here? Or am I a ghost? I glance at my neck, and it's completely bare of any marks, as smooth as a baby's bottom. The fan above me spins lazily, its low speed showing it wasn't turned up high. I open the door and follow the sound of a child's giggle. As I look around, I realize the walls look different. The tiles aren't as slippery as before, and the color of the walls has changed from blue to white. I place my ear on the door and notice the giggle is louder now, which is strange because it feels like my hearing is sharper, and even my sight seems clearer. I slowly turn the knob and open the door. Xanthus is sitting with a small child who is giggling as he opens each present. The child has hair the same color as mine, and his eyes are the same as Zanthis. Everyone turns to look at me, and Xanthus opens and closes his mouth. He rubs his eyes. You can see me? I ask softly. He nods and rushes toward me. Aurora, he says, hugging me tightly. I hold him just as tightly. The little boy stares at me, confused. I wave at him, and he smiles back. Xanthus wraps his hands around my waist, pulling me closer to him, not allowing anyone else to get too close. Whoa. Aurora, he says, looking at me in disbelief. I nod at Josian as she enters with 2 bottles of champagne. Are you a ghost? Josian asks, and I giggle. I don't think so, I reply. Xanthus sits me on his lap, and I look at the little boy again. Who's he? I ask, pointing to the small child, who continues to smile at me. Damien, Xanthus says, and my heart stops for a second. Damien, as in our, I start to ask, and he nods. How did he grow so much in 4 days? Everyone looks at me strangely. I'm here. No need to send an army to find me. Cassandra walks in, rocking a baby. I sit down with Damien in my arms. He had been so happy when he was told I was his mother, and he screamed, thank you to the stars, even though they weren't out, for making his wish come true. Hi, Cassandra smiles. She tries to hug me, but Zanthus growls, and Damien snuggles closer to me. I glare at Zanthus, and he smiles guiltily. I heard you've been gone for 4 days, Cassandra says. I nod. I was gone for just 4 days, right? Right? I ask, feeling confused. Rory, Recall says, looking unsure. I turn to him, and he hugs me before Zanthus can growl. You're here. You're really here, he says, sounding relieved. I chuckle. You were actually gone for 4 years, Cassandra says slowly, and the smile fades from my face. What? I died for just 4 days? I sit down slowly, but unfortunately, I flop down faster than I expected, letting out a breath of air. Where were you? Cassandra asks. I woke up in a garden, and every day, a part of the garden would die, I remember. The garden had colorful flowers, and I would feel emotional whenever a part of it died. The world you were in has a slower time, Cassandra says. That makes sense. Which means I lost 4 years of Damien's life. I missed his first steps and first words. I didn't realize I was crying until I felt Damien's small fingers on my face. I smile at him and hug him tightly. Cassandra pulls out a knife and cuts my palm open. Xanthus growls loudly. Calm down, Cassandra says, rolling her eyes at him. She watches in fascination as the cut heals itself. She throws the knife, and I duck quickly. Are you trying to kill her? Xanthus yells at her. She ignores him and faces me with a big smile. You broke the curse. A smile spreads across my face. What? How? When Xanthus' grandfather deceived Daria, she was shunned by the witches, her family, her friends. Even her daughter was taken away from her. Each one of these represents a part of the garden that died, whether it was a year or a day according to the realm you were in. She takes a deep breath. You're no longer human, Cassandra says, and that hits me like a bombshell. What? I whisper, letting Damien squirm out of my arms when he wiggles. Daria was half witch, half demon. Normally, witches die of old age, but because of the transition, she lived for more than 2 centuries before creating a weapon and forcing a hunter to kill her. Now, she exchanged your mortal life for her immortal life, she says. I stare at her blankly. When witches die, their bodies turn into trees and they find peace. But when Daria died, she turned to dust, and she never found peace. Now she has reincarnated into a human. I'm no longer human, am I? Am I a demon? I ask quietly. No. Just think of yourself as a human with a demon lifespan, she explains. I nod slowly. You don't have a beast, so... She trails off. I nod, relieved. At least I'm still here. You have to mark her again. A tense silence falls over the room. The memory of the mark is a painful one. Xanthus stares at my neck and frowns. You marked a human with a human lifespan, not a human with a demon lifespan, Xanthus says, smiling at me. It's been a week since I woke up, and everything has been going well. Xanthus hasn't marked me yet, so I'm waiting for him. I pull the robe tighter around my body and wait for him to come in. He stops when he sees what I'm wearing. Any special occasion, he asks teasingly, and I roll my eyes and move toward him. I want you to mark me again, I blurt out. He raises his eyebrows. No, he answers coldly. His tone makes me want to cry. Please, I know you don't have good memories of the last time you marked me. Neither do I. That's why fate is giving us another chance, I say. No, he walks away, but I block his path. I slowly untie the belt on the robe. Xanthus' eyes widen slightly. What are you doing? He asks. Asmodeus was named the Lord of Lust for a reason. The robe drops, exposing my purple lace underwear with a garter belt. Aurora, I place my finger on his lips, silencing him. I can see he's trying not to look at my body, but I don't make it easy for him. I play with the strap of my bra. Mark me, I whisper against his lips. He glares at me with frustration. You just came back. And with that, my bra comes off, and he loses the little control he had left. He slams me against the wall and kisses me with anger. The kiss gradually becomes slower and more tender. He pulls back and stares at me. Are you sure? He asks. I nod, and then he sinks his fangs into my neck, marking me again. And then we made love for the first time in 4 years. They found Daria after a year, and of course, a lot of human babies were born that year. Xanthus tried to have another child, but I lost the baby during the 2nd month. Cassandra said my body was still adjusting to the changes. Now we have 3 kids, Damien, Alexander, and Esther. Alex and Esther are twins. Alex is older, but Esther acts older. I kiss Xanthus. What was that for? He grins. Nothing. I just love you, I say, smiling back. I love you too, he replies. Ew, Damien scrunches up his face. We run after him. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and like this video to continue listening to this type of story daily and also, to appreciate this community too. I would like to know your opinion about this story. Please comment below.